Man, oh man, do I love Victory Monday. If you love Victory Monday, give me some Raiders down below. My name's Mitchell Renz. Y'all are watching the Raiders Report, and I really mean this when I say this. I put up a lot of time and a lot of effort for the nation because Raider Nation puts up a lot of time and a lot of effort. In yesterday's game, I think we finally have a team that I'm hoping that the nation can really rally behind. And coming up here live on today's show, I want to talk about the Raiders-Patriots game from yesterday. I want to talk about the offensive side of the football, the defensive side of the football. And this show I'm really excited about because this is something that I've been pushing for a long time here at Chat Sports. I want to be able to go live on the Raiders Report the day after a game. Win, lose, or for a Chugs tie. And this is something I'm really passionate about doing because I've been doing this show for 7 years. So I'm asking every single one of y'all, if you want me to be allowed to show up live every single Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, I need y'all to always pull up. I need y'all to always participate. And I need you to be ready to rock and roll with me every single Monday because I'm telling you this right now, walking into work on a Monday, usually it's not easy. After a Raiders win, shit, man, I practically skipped into work today. We already have over 500 people here on the Raiders Report. If you haven't already, hit that like button. And if you want to get your questions, comments on the show, hashtag Raiders, Super Chat. Let's talk about the game that was yesterday. And if anybody wants to, 2 double birds right there to Josh McDaniels. So coming up here, we are going to talk about just the game in a little bit more depth. Obviously, when you watch the game live, you watch it and you're experiencing it live and, you're trying to soak up all the information. And then once the game ends, for me personally, I want to go back and I want to watch film. I want to go back and maybe I missed certain things that I didn't see while I was live. And we're going to talk about a lot of that today because, yes, it's a week 1 game, but there was a lot to unpack from the offense and from the defensive side of the football. I also then am going to be doing my week 1 winners and losers. I'm going to tell you who I thought played really well on the offensive side of the football. I'm going to tell you who I thought struggled a little bit on offense, though you probably know who I'm going to talk about on the O-line. And then on the defensive side of the football, who the biggest winners and losers are. Next segment that I got coming up here today, the storylines heading in to week 2. Week 2 Monday Night Football. For the AFC West lead against the Chargers. Pete Carroll, 6-5 all-time against Jim Harbaugh. You're telling me right now that's not going to be a game that the entire world is going to be glued into? I'm going to talk about what are the top things going in to that game. As always, it's hashtag Raiders or Super Chat to get those questions, comments up here on the stream. And we are going to be live, I would say, for 2, maybe 3 hours, depending on how many questions we get here on today's program. And if you did not know, I will be live later on today for Monday Night Football. Minnesota Vikings up against the Chicago Bears. And we are going to be rocking and rolling for Monday Night Live. If you did not know, also, we're going to be doing a $10 Venmo duck race. So if you want a chance to win a little bit of money today, I know yesterday we gave away just over $2,000 on the Raiders Report. So if you want to get in, you want to have a chance, Mondays are going to be a little bit more laid back. $10 Venmo if you're trying to win some money on a Monday. Who knows? Maybe some of y'all have multiple Victory Mondays today. I see a few Super Chats flowing in, and that's what I love. That's what I love to see because that's what's going to be important today. Get your hashtag Raiders questions in. Get the Super Chat questions in. Let's talk about the game yesterday. Let's talk about some segments, and let's enjoy a Victory Monday. So I want to know from all of y'all down below, who was the Raiders MVP yesterday against the Patriots? I want one singular player. Who was the Raiders MVP against New England? And to me, you can look at it, I think, in a multitude of different ways. But to me personally, I think that the defense outplayed the offense. But if we're really truly looking at the MVP of yesterday's game, it's going to be a chalky answer, but I'm going to go with Geno Smith. Because to me, Geno made the plays when we needed him to make the plays. And the 2 plays that keep popping into my mind, that 4th down and 1 play. I'm not going to lie to you, I hated the play design. They're out, pistol, or technically I think he was actually under center, and he rolls to this side, and he's rolling, and you're going, oh no. Throws across his body. Mind you, Brock Bowers is out of the game at this point. Throwing across his body to Michael Mayer, picks up a first down, extends the drive. 3rd down and 20. Geno drops back, throws one up to guess who? Dante Thornton Jr. To me, an MVP makes plays when it matters the most. And yeah, he had one bad turnover, but how good he played yesterday, man. I am fired up for Geno Smith. I see Johnny Martinez saying Geno. I see Short Dog saying Geno. I see RG saying Geno. You know who else I think is the MVP of today's show? Our sponsor, Prize Picks. And I was able to turn $20 into 40. Shout out to our sponsor for not only helping out the nation have a good time, but also putting a little bit of extra money in my pocket. And you already know, Prize Picks, it's good to be right. And this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I, we make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is simple to play. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which you'll get to see here in a second in my lineup, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. So yesterday, I had a lineup for $20 for a chance to win $364 in total. Unfortunately, I did not get $364, but since Prize Picks did invent the flex play, I was able to turn that $20 into $40. Ashton Jeanty, Geno Smith, Hunter Henry, Michael Mayer, and Stephon Diggs all got the more. My guy Max Crosby, I'll forgive you. You know it's all love. But Max was the reason why this was not 6 for 6. But you know what? I had a lot of fun, and if anybody wants to run their lineup all season long, you want to run your lineup tonight for Monday Night Football, I'll have an extra lineup a little bit later on tonight for those of you that are watching our Monday Night live stream. So download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS. You get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Let's go to some Super Chats now, my man Muerte. Raider Muerte, I knew this, and I hope that you're not upset for what I'm about to say. I knew death, taxes, victory Monday, good vibes coming in here from Muerte. Like, to me, and I know that I probably speak on behalf of all Raider fans, I was so sick to my stomach Saturday night. I was legitimately nervous where, I don't know if y'all remember when you used to play sports. It's been so long for me, and I was a pitcher in college, so I would pitch on Saturday, and I would just hang out the rest of the weekend. But when you feel, that you're a part of the team, and you feel the nerves, the butterflies, the pregame jitters, like, I'm not kidding you yesterday. I was literally, like, shaking at times when we were getting ready to get into the game just because of how much I wanted them to win. How much effort that I feel like our team here at Chat Sports, how much effort Raider Nation out at home puts into this team, and you just wanted to see them win. And to me, man, waking up this morning, I've just felt such a load off my shoulders. Now, some of y'all are like, yeah, Mitch, take it easy with the loads. But I mean it, dude. It was a load off my shoulders, and I hope that I don't speak for every Raider fan out there, but I think that I kind of do, where you start out 1-0, it is such a different feeling compared to last season. And I know last season the Raiders were 0-1. I know the years prior we've been 0-1. But just the look of the team, it just feels different, does it not? It just feels like some good vibes. Let's go to P. Flores. Chip had great play calls without a no-line. Raider Nation for life. I can't really disagree. I love me some Chip Kelly. And, again, like when you see Chip Kelly's offense blended with the talented players that we have, like, it doesn't shock me. Can you go to the listicle of the plays of 20-plus yards we used earlier today? I mean, Geno Smith right now leads the NFL in passing yards down the field. He's got 9 pass completions of 20 yards or more. Josh Allen has 7, and then there are 3 quarterbacks tied with 5. Like, to me, when you think about the amount of QBs that are playing, obviously, in the National Football League, but how I don't know, like unpretty yesterday's game was, and yet you still were able to move the football at an elite explosive level. Like, I don't even know if we had 9 pass completions of 20 yards all last season. We obviously did. But, like, think about how much of a Madden insane game that Bills and Ravens game was. And the Raiders, in a rainy outdoor game, were still able to push the ball down the field in a game where even, like, you know, your best option in Brock Bowers ended up getting injured. Your best option at running back averaged 2.0 yards per carry. Like, to me, this Chip Kelly offense with Geno Smith did great. If there's only one thing I'm going to just kind of, you know, knock Chip a little bit here, if we are unable to run the football, and I just hope that we don't get into the situation again, because I know last season we dealt with it a bunch. We got to be able to figure out how to run through the air. So what do I mean by that? You saw yesterday, really, New England early on was pinning their ears back, and they were coming at Geno. They were getting north and south, and I think that they knew that we weren't going to be able to run the football, so they were able to get north and south. What I kind of want Chip to do moving forward is, all right, if we aren't able to run between the tackles because, I don't know if it's JPJ, Jordan Meredith, Dylan Parham, if we're getting our shit pushed in on the interior, how can we run through the air? I think ways to set that up are more screens or, you know, putting like Trey Tucker in motion and hitting them with a ball. Like, to me, if the Raiders literally ran more plays of Trey Tucker goes in motion, fake handoff to Jeanty, quick screen out to Trey, like it doesn't always have to be to Jeanty. I think that that's ways that we can run through the air. That's my only thing I want to see more moving forward. What up, Drew? Do our DBs concern you against the Chargers wide receivers? Yes, they do. Like, I know that yesterday the Raiders defense played a lot better. Like, to me, I literally am happy that I'm eating my words. I'm happy how often we've all talked about how bad this secondary is, and, you know, I'm happy Kai Blue Kelly said, Mitch, go F yourself. I'm happy Isaiah Palomal said, Mitch, go F yourself. I'm happy Pete Carroll had that entire secondary flying all over the football field, throwing up double birds, Geno Smith style, to everybody that doubted them. And I'm okay with that. But I also am a honest person, and when you look at the Patriots wide receiver room, it's not very good. I think also the conditions in that game, it was slippery out there, and you know, I actually think sometimes in slippery games it's a little bit more of a coin flip. For the Chargers, though, they played well against Kansas City, and Justin Herbert outperformed Patrick Mahomes. It was an entire effort. I do think, though, that the Chargers wide receiver room is better than the New England Patriots wide receiver room, but at the same time, like, I am very impressed with how our guys played. This is a defense, when you generate pressure, they can do their thing on the back end. And I'm hoping that Patrick Graham, I'm hoping this entire defense kind of keeps that pedal to the metal mentality in terms of getting after the quarterback. Because you saw early in that game, first quarter, first half, we didn't blitz too much. We didn't bring a lot of pressure, and they were kind of picking us apart a little bit. Once we started bringing some pressure with how long and athletic our guys are, you just make the quarterback make more decisions. And I am nervous still. It's week 1, but you got to be impressed by what you saw. If you don't know Monday's deals, here are Monday's deals. If you want to get up on screen, super chat to get up here, participate on Monday's show. It's going to be the way that we are allowed to keep on doing this thing, because to me, I want to be able to give you guys more content. I want to be able to, provide more content, live ability up here, and just to get to know y'all a little bit better. But we are a company here at Chat Sports, ways that you can assure that I'll get to do this every single week. Hit the like button. Make sure you're commenting down below, participating. Like, if you want to shout out on the Raiders Report, type me down below. Like, doing little things like that. Getting the questions in is really going to help us go. Now, if you want to get in for a chance to win an Ashton Jeanty signed helmet, every $5 super chat here on today's show, you get a raffle ticket. If you want to get in the duck race, it is a $10 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. If you are trying to bang, hey, you already know. Victory Monday bangs. I don't know what it's going to feel like until somebody does it, but I feel like it's going to feel pretty damn good. And if anybody wants a Raiders Report hat, Venmo me 101 at Mitchell Renz 365. I need your first name, your last name, and your shipping address. That is what I need. But if you're like, Mitch, how do I get on Venmo? You can scan that QR code right there. You can add me as a friend at MitchellRens365. I'll go back to the Super Chats here in just a moment, but I did see we got a few people getting it in, and of course, Soulja Man and Fabian. I don't know how much money y'all have won in the last 2 months of duck races. Now, you guys also probably buy more ducks than anybody on the pond, but I would say Soulja Man and Fabian alone has got to be close to 4,000 in the last 2 months in terms of duck races. Soulja Man, bro, I don't know how much you're up to. You got to be up there as well. Darth, I got you in, my brother. I also see David Garcia. He's getting some in, which you love to see. And then another one for Soulja Man. Jesus, Soulja Man. So right now we have 7 ducks in this race. 3 of them belong to Soulja Man. 3 of them belong to David. And then there's a man called Darth Fatass in the race. Right now as it stands, it's a $10 Venmo for a chance to win $35. Let's go to Searchai. What up, Searchai? Felt good to rub it in on Spillane, Chasen, and Josh. You know, there is a pause that needs to be had here. You know, I don't know what you're rubbing in. Maybe you're rubbing in that butter for Corn the Long Way for McDaniels. Also, did anybody see my thumbnail late last night? The Suck at McDaniels one. I put the hand, I don't know if you saw it. If you go to my Twitter, also shout out to Reed. Reed's producing today. Chugs will be with me tonight for Monday Night Football. And again, part of doing what we're doing here, we don't keep any of the Super Chats. We don't keep any of the Venmo. It gets invested in getting you guys more content. So the only way that I was able to get Chugs for Monday night is if Reed was able to produce this show early with me Monday. So huge shout out to Reed. I want anytime Reed pulls up, I want you guys to show him love because he's the reason why we're able to do Monday. I love Chugs, but it's a long Monday, and you know it's hard to ask him to be here from literally 8 a.m. to midnight tonight. So,
and I think as long as today goes well, and the nation shows out and the Raiders keep winning. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll tell you, Mondays will be a lot more fun after a win.
I think this will be the norm.
Yep. I think Reed
Monday morning or Monday afternoon.
Yeah, the Monday overreaction video, Reed makes that with me, and then this Monday live show, Reed's going to be with me. So, again, I want to be able to provide you guys more content. My team, also wants to be able to do it. We just got to be able to figure out certain schedules. But when you guys show out and show love the way that you did yesterday on that live show, the way that you guys did on Thursday night, the way that you guys always do on Tuesday, we're going to put you first, and I hope that you see that really this upcoming year. You're going to get more live content from me this year than you have literally ever. Of all time. That's why you should hit that subscribe button. That's why you should turn on those notifications. But I actually thought Caleb and Jason played pretty damn well yesterday. Robert Spillane, you saw some good in there. But to me, Devin White was a dog. Jermaine Pratt was a dog. Jamal Adams was a dog. And I miss Spillane. And Spillane carries that Raider mentality. And he will always hold a special place in my heart because that dude brought it every single day, and yeah, it sucks that he's a Patriot now, but you got to respect it. I think real recognize real. But at the same time, the way our linebackers played, I'm not upset about it. The gynecologist was deep in the Pats secondary. Yeah, Chuck started this nickname, the gynecologist, because he's deep in your defense. Yeah, I'll tell you what, dude, Geno looked amazing. And to me, the sign of a great quarterback is when things are going well, it looks just like a video game. Look at that game yesterday for Baltimore and Buffalo. That first drive for the Raiders last night, it kind of looked like a video game. It looked easy. Right down the field, touchdown, Trey Tucker. It looked really, really good, right? But when it's going bad, how do you respond? And Geno throws a bad interception. I don't think it was the worst read the second time I went back and I looked at it late last night. If he puts the ball where he needs to, Brock Bowers, his hands are here. He put it here. The defender got his hands on it, tipped, ended up being picked, right? But then it's interception. It's 3 and out. It's 3 and out. And then missed field goal, or there might have been another 3 and out in there. Then you're going into halftime. You're down 10-7, and you're sitting there going, how are we going to respond? And this coaching staff said, we're going to respond with Geno Smith. And he made the biggest plays when it mattered. I could not have been more fired up for Geno, because if that's what he looks like outdoors, Oh, man, get ready for what he's about to do indoors on Monday Night Football. What's up, Bruce Marshall? You got yourself a Jeanty raffle ticket into the 850 people here. I want to get 1,000 people in this building. If you haven't already, click that like button. To our moderators that are here today, if we get to 500 likes, I'm giving every single moderator a free chance to win a signed Ashton Jeanty helmet. 64-year Raider fan here. What up, Bruce? You don't look a day over 60. Do you think Raiders will get their running game going soon? Offensive line has me worried. Here's my question to all of you. What is your confidence level right now, scale from 1 to 10, in this current Raiders offensive line? 1, it's the worst offensive line in the NFL. 10, it's the best offensive line in the NFL. And what I'm a little bit concerned about is what I saw early on in the game, and then once New England made an adjustment to just basically say, we're going to run at the interior of that offensive line, and we're going to essentially take Kolton Miller out of the game. And that's kind of what they did. Kolton Miller held his own, but from the Dylan Parham, Jordan Meredith, JPJ especially, and Glaze, the right side of our offensive line was the worst part of the offensive line yesterday, and I can't state that enough. But to me, that's my concern when we went out and drafted Jeanty. And right now I'm looking down here at the chat. Jeremy Cole saying 5, Everett Ferris saying 4, Joseph Gomez saying 5, Joshua Garcia saying 4, Richard Black going to go with a 4, Small says 7 to 8. And to me, I'm probably somewhere in that 4 to 5 range because of how bad we were in the trenches in terms of running the football, which is, again, why I was worried about drafting Jeanty. I know Jeanty is an incredibly talented back, but if you don't block, he can't look incredibly talented. They did a good job in pass protection. Run blocking is still an area that they need to get better at, but I do wonder with all of the moving parts this offensive line had this offseason, brand new offense, brand new quarterback, brand new offensive line coach, they might just need more continuity together, and they might need a little bit more chemistry. I could also make the argument that New England in a muddy, wetty game with Milton Williams and Christian Barmore, maybe that's just the better matchup overall, but I could also say that New England did everything in their power to try to stop the run. And with that, they had a lot more one-on-one opportunities in the secondary, and our guys are going to win those one-on-one opportunities. But I think you just got to keep sticking to the game plan, and I think one of the ways that you can do a better job of running is running through the air, setting up more screens. Don't allow those guys to come north and south. Make them think for a second, because if you make them think for a second and Jeanty can get that bowling ball of his body rolling, that's when you start seeing the yards after contact. What up, brand official? We need a solid backup quarterback ASAP. Well, luckily for you, we have one. So, Kenny Pickett to me. To me, we used to talk about Aiden O'Connell being a good backup quarterback, and Aiden O'Connell is a good backup quarterback. Kenny Pickett is a better backup quarterback. And I think you overpaid a little bit for Pickett in the trade, giving up the 5th rounder, but I also will say that you paid a little bit more because you knew the Aiden O'Connell injury. You knew that you weren't confident in Cam Miller, so they overpaid to ensure that they had a good backup. I'll be honest, right? Like, if Geno Smith goes down, Kenny Pickett's not going to save the day. Aiden O'Connell's not going to save the day. If we lose Geno, we're going to be in a tough situation this season. But we do have a solid backup quarterback. And I also look at what the Raiders have done from a franchise standpoint. Not the Raiders, I guess. I should say Pete Carroll has done a great job turning a quarterback that nobody thought was any good, Geno Smith, into a franchise guy. You look at somebody like Baker Mayfield down there with John Spytek, former first-round pick nobody thought was good. Now he's a franchise quarterback. I actually like the idea of guys like Chip Kelly, Greg Olsen, Tom Brady, Pete Carroll, all of these really smart quarterback minds working with Kenny Pickett, a former first-round pick. Don't get me wrong, dude's got small hands, but when you have people that have done what you're hoping to do with Kenny Pickett, you got to buy into it. And if I learned anything from yesterday, I doubted the defense. I'm going to buy in a little bit more to what Pete Carroll is selling. Appreciate you, though, getting that question in to the 902 people. Let's freaking go, man. Hit that like button. Appreciate each and every one of y'all tuning in to Raiders Victory Monday. What's up, Bill? I'm going to be so angry if this turns into an opening day week 2 loss because they think they are better than they are versus the Panthers. I guess I'm a little bit confused. I mean, I know last year we were talking about, The Raiders lost to the Panthers last season. That was the Andy Dalton game. I believe that was a Week 3 game. I don't know if you watched this show, but I did say it's bad news for the Raiders that Andy Dalton's going to start in that one. The Chargers and the Panthers, two totally different teams, right? Like, the Panthers last season were not a good football team, and I do think the Raiders walked into that game, and they were sleepwalking a little bit. Where then on the other side of the coin, the Chargers just beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Friday. They get a longer day. They get longer time to essentially rest and get prepared for you. Pete Carroll's gone up against Jim Harbaugh 11 times. Pete's got a 6-5 record against them. You know, I don't know if this is exactly where you're going with this, but to me, if you can't be motivated for a home opener, Monday Night Football, for a chance to be first place of the AFC West, I'm going to be angry too. So I don't think that the two games are the exact same, but I know this Raiders team is going to be prepared because we were prepared. And we made second half adjustments. We have a coaching staff that helps us win every game. We're no longer a Raiders team that every single week you walk into a game and you're sitting there going, are we prepared from a head coaching standpoint? We are now. Pete's better than Josh. Pete's better than AP. He's better than John Gruden. I literally think Pete Carroll and this coaching staff is one of the most solid coaching staffs from top to bottom in the NFL, and I'm not kidding when I say that. I really, really, truly mean it. Let's go to Vernon. Give me that helmet. Well, you get 2 raffle tickets for the Ashton Jeanty signed helmet. Good luck to you. You know, I mean, I've done these things for a while. Obviously, you got a better chance to win the more ducks that you end up getting in. Also, Russell Wilson is going to be the starter against the Dallas Cowboys. Sorry. If any other NFL news randomly happens today, it's also why I wanted to be able to do this show. We'll talk about it. Kendrick Bourne, he also ended up signing with the San Francisco 49ers, but good luck to you, man. I know this. The more tickets you got, the better chance you got to win. Though, I saw somebody ask about fantasy football. I might lose in all 3 of my fantasy football leagues this year. To start, I think my wife's going to beat me. I think Nabman's going to beat me. And I think my uncle's going to beat me. And this is what I've learned. I learned when you go up against Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen the same week they're playing against each other, and I went up against both of those Alex has got Allen, my uncle's got Allen, and Nabman's got Lamar Jackson. I did have Derrick Henry, and I thought I was going to do well. Nabman's going to be the high scorer. My uncle's going to be the high scorer, and my wife is going to be the high scorer. I guess I'm just going up against the high scores. But
I went 1 for 3.
The Raiders got a dub.
I went 1 for 3.
In our Raiders Report Fantasy Football League, I'm probably going to be the second highest scorer in that. I'm going to get an L. Unfortunately, Nabman just had a hell of a week, which, Nav, I don't remember what the bet we made. I think I got to join your show at some point if you do end up winning, which I think you're going to end up winning. It's all love, though. It's all love. Let's go to Search Eye. Josh and the Pats fans got a silver and black facial. You know, I don't know what that looks like necessarily, but I do know tomorrow when we go live on the Raiders Report at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific, our Patriots host, Brett Alper, he's going to join the channel for a little bit, and you guys are going to get to punish him, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, dude. Him and I made a bet on social media. I don't know if I want to make him like do exercises or.
Oh, I was gonna say I saw you guys practicing something.
So yeah, I told him. I said, get your reverse jumping jacks ready, Alfred. Get your reverse jumping jacks ready. Yeah, Jeff Garcia. I mean, I was saying this: either jumping jacks or push-ups. What would you guys rather? Type J for jumping jacks tomorrow. Type P for push-ups. I know jumping jacks are a lot easier, huh? What did Gilbert say? I don't know how I could do that. Here's the problem. I can't paint Alper's face because I know this. I can't paint it Raiders colors. That's going to get us canceled. Yeah, I guess we could just paint it silver, but even that, I don't know. People in today's day and age, you just never know.
I mean,
I'm seeing a lot of P's for push-ups.
I like the
Raider Nate push-up till you throw up. Noah saying push-ups. Hey, we'll see what we end up doing tomorrow. I will say this, like,
half silver,
I feel like he's built more for push-ups. He's got a bigger upper body, and I don't know how often he works out his legs. Like Alper, he can bench, and I've seen him bench. That's why I was like, I don't know if I want to make him do push-ups, but he will be sweating tomorrow. He will be sweating tomorrow on the Raiders Report. That I can guarantee. Sir Chai, Mitch, who is the worst kicker in the NFL, Moody or Young-Ho Koo? I mean, I kind of want to say Jake Moody because you also have to account for the fact that he was a third-round pick. So, and the kicks that he was missing yesterday, that first kick he missed, that was a shank, and it was like a 27-yarder. Next one gets blocked, and then the third one, he barely ended up squeaking through. I think when you talk about kickers, you got to talk about where they were drafted, especially if they were drafted. And Jake Moody's probably going to be the answer that I go with right now. He's the guy that I would have the least amount of confidence trotting out there onto the football field when the game matters because he don't believe in himself. And, Niner fans, believe me, I hate Niner fans, but Raider fans know the pressure of Niner, Raider, there's just a lot of pressure with those fan bases, and every time he walks out there on the field, dude is shitting bricks. Let's go to Rebel. What up, man? What's the update on a Landon Roberts injury? So it is actually going to be something that I talk about a little bit today, and I reached out to a few sources, and here's the problem. Until we get an exact, hey, this is what he's dealing with, because he has a sprained elbow, okay? And for those that don't know, I got a few friends that are in the medical field, and I always reach out to them. I'm like, what do you know about a sprained elbow? My one buddy said typical 2 to 4 week injury, but if it's super, super severe, it can be sometimes like an ankle where sometimes they say a sprained ankle, a very severe sprained ankle is actually worse than I don't know if you were to break something. But from what I understand, the Landon Roberts injury is a sprained elbow. I'm still trying to get more information on it. My gut tells me it's going to be a 2 to 4 week injury, but if he's tough enough, and he's a tough mother effer, and with, you see all the time, the old J.J. Watt, sleeve that he used to wear, they can put some sort of sleeve stabilizer on that elbow to kind of lock it in a little bit more, and I do think you'll probably see something along those regards, but he could play this week. He could also be, battling something for 1 to 2 weeks. He could be battling something for 4 weeks. Luckily, though, the Raiders linebackers, I thought they all played pretty damn well yesterday. Devin White played well. Jamal Adams played well. Jermaine Pratt played well. They all played well. Even Tommy Eichenberg, when asked to come in the game, I thought he played well from top to bottom. We got a few more super chats that I want to get to here in just a moment. But before we do, if y'all want to shout out on the show, can we get some Raider Rons down below? My guy Raider Ron has been the oest of G's, I guess you could say, since I've been doing this show, and he was the MVP on yesterday's program. And Ron, again, dude, I feel like I say this all the time, but thank you so much for everything that you've always done for this show, and I think that you personify what it means to be a diehard Raiders fan. But there were so many people that participated on our show yesterday. So real quick, everybody, let's show some love to the MVP, and I want to be able to do this every single week. Also to the people that finished Ron, and then Wild One and Alex McGuire. You guys are going to get something really, really cool in the mail, so make sure you guys are checking it out. But to Raider Nation 80, to Raider Roach, Jeremy Cole, RJ Cole down below, Jason McHugh, Georgia John, all showing love to the GOAT, Raider Ron. Also, though, yesterday, these were our top 10 fans, and I promised everybody out there, if you finish in the top 3 of XP, unfortunately for Ventrac, because Ron sent in the Venmo, that's why Ron's number 1. Wild One finished at number 2. Alex McGuire finished at number 3. I'm going to send you guys some Raiders Report swag, and it's something that I've never sent out before. Really curious to hear what you guys have to say about it. It's going to be like the Family Guy mystery box. Could be a boat. It's probably going to be Raiders Report stuff, though. Shout out to all the MVPs that showed up yesterday. Let's go to Vurum, who I believe right now is the MVP of today's show. I think after seeing how well we adjusted in the second half, I'm pretty confident we can make necessary O-line adjustments week to week. That's kind of my mindset as well, where if we have a coaching staff that can make the second half adjustments, and the second half adjustments that you're discussing, I'm going to show you all from a defensive side, but I think we also made some good second half adjustments, from an offensive side. And when you look at the plays and the yards, a lot of these yards came in garbage time when it was kind of like that last final drive when the Raiders were up 20-10 and they let New England go down the field to get into field goal range to make it 20-13. To me, though, the ability to make adjustments is so big. And, I had a few Patriots fans trolling me. I had a few Raiders fans sharing my video from over the weekend because I literally made a video. And in that video, you can go check it out. It's on my social media at MitchellRens365. I said, bookmark it, save it. Josh McDaniels, after his first touchdown drive, isn't good enough to make adjustments for the rest of the game. And it was one of the reasons why I was so confident that the Raiders were going to be able to win that game. Patriots score a touchdown. They don't score a touchdown the rest of the game. Why? Because we made adjustments. New England did not. So I think you have to hope that we're able to, after a week of practice, after a week of seeing the tape, go out there and make the proper adjustments. I think every Raider fan has to at least give them the benefit of the doubt. Yes, you can be angry about how the O-line played. I'm upset about the O-line. I know John Spytek is very upset about how the O-line played yesterday because this is a team that predicates itself on being a tough football team. I'm not getting pushed around and being somebody that wins in the trenches, and we did not do that on the offensive side of the football yesterday. Let's go to Darian. What up, Darian? I know it's super early, but Raiders on the clock in 2026. We taking the best corner or best offensive lineman on the board. Very, very early, right? This is still almost too early to say, but I would say I would look at defensive tackle. I think you got to look at DT just because, again, if you thought you were going to have Christian Wilkins, I would want to try to go back and get somebody that's that good on the interior. I think looking at safety could be a position that you could look at, but cornerback, abso-flippin-lutely. And then, offensive line, I don't know how you don't look at it where, Dylan Parham, he's on the final year of his contract. If DJ Glaze doesn't step it up, maybe the Raiders decide to go that route. But there are so many positions that it's still a possibility, right? When you're the Raiders and you still have as many glaring holes as that what we do, I think that this coaching staff showed they're going to go best player available. Because when you go best player available, when you have a lot of holes, I do think it helps you build the best team possible. Where Brock Bowers, best player available. You can make an argument. Ashton Jeanty, best player available. So to me, I think that that's going to be the route that we end up going. Also, where are we drafting? Where do you think we're drafting? If you're going to say super early, I want to know from you, where do you think we're drafting? Are we drafting in the top 10? Are we drafting in the 20s? I hope we're drafting in the 30s, quite frankly, but this is a tough one. But I think the better question here is, what do you think the Raiders' biggest need is after week one? And the biggest need after week one, I would say, is interior offensive line. I was very disappointed in how JPJ played. I think
when looking at this question, my first thought was, is it only those two? If that's only the two options, if it's in a box, just this question, if you're going to take either one, I think you go wide receiver.
Oh, boy. See, I don't know if you go receiver. I think it depends what they do with Jacoby. I think the Raiders have a good wide receiver room. I think Trey Tucker showed yesterday he can be a better receiver. Jack Besh is going to come along. Dante Thornton is really good. So, they like those three guys there. Then you have Bowers. You have Michael Mayer. I think it really determines of what they end up doing with Jacoby. And I don't know what they end up doing with Jacoby. But
I just think, I guess you could go 2027 because that's when Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith and all that.
I'll tell you this. Jeremiah Smith with his cousin Geno, that sounds good to me. You'd have to be in the top 3 probably to go get him, but we could try. I don't know how, but we could try. If I'm picking right now, though, based on offensive line and cornerback play, I'm going to go offensive line, and it's because when you draft Jeanty at number 6, you got to make sure that pick is worth it. And right now, our offensive line is showing me that pick might not be worth it. Let's go to another super chat here. It's from Mike Lopez, and this is us all caught up on all the supers today. Mike, your thoughts on Bowers-Michael Mayer duo. Glad we didn't trade him. This might surprise a lot of people that don't watch this show, but I am also glad the Raiders didn't trade Michael Mayer. I only talk about Mayer getting dealt because he was a name that got brought up all the time. But I like the way that the Raiders used both of those guys yesterday. I think also even when, Bowers went down for that limited time, the Raiders still showed everybody out there that they believe in Michael Mayer. For them to go to him on 4th down and 1, and Mayer showed up. I thought Mayer blocked well from a running and pass blocking perspective. He looked like a tight end that you should have drafted in the 2nd round out of Notre Dame just a few seasons ago. But to me, if we're going to struggle running the football and if we're going to struggle playing this FU brand, I do wonder if putting Bowers out at wide receiver a little bit more, having Mayer play a little bit more tight end, getting those guys involved, maybe some more 12 personnel could be something that we end up trying to do. But I was very impressed from what I saw from both tight ends yesterday. And Bowers is he's just so clearly the best tight end on the planet. And when you don't really get to appreciate at times how special he is, because you kind of take it for granted. Like, he just run by people, and he kind of reminds me of a more athletic Jason Witten, where, you look back at a lot of those great Cowboys teams, and Witten with Romo, Witten would just find a way to get open. And I know you guys probably not liking me comparing Bowers to Travis Kelce, but Travis Kelce's arguably the greatest tight end of all time. And what Kelce does, like, Bowers is a just as athletic, if not more athletic, Travis Kelce, where Kelce's got it up here. Bowers has it up here. He can go up the field. He can bring in a 28-yard, 23-yard catch sky high, and then he can also catch one middle of the field and run by cornerbacks and safeties. Like, again, he looks like somebody that can do your taxes. He also is somebody that can put your dick in the dirt, and he's also somebody that can go up and get a 50-50 ball and turn it into an 89-11 ball. Shout out to Brock. Let's keep it moving here. I see Doug Adore. You're next up here on the show. Just a reminder, the Las Vegas Raiders have never lost a Monday night football game at home. So you're obviously, the key word in here is Las Vegas. It's got to be the key word. Which I'm trying to think. So one of my favorite watch parties that I ever did was a few years ago when the Raiders also won week 1, Monday Night Football against the Ravens. That was the overtime thriller. It was the Zay Jones into the end zone finger roll. That was a Monday night game. Trying to think of the other Monday Night Football games at home. And, I'll tell you this, right now off top of my dome, I can't think of a Monday Night Football loss either. It sounds pretty damn good to me, but both teams are going to be motivated. Both teams are going to want to be in first place of the AFC West. And can you imagine the Raiders being 2-0 and the Chiefs could potentially be 0-2? The Kansas City Chiefs, led by Patrick Mahomes, have never lost 3 games in a row. Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl, week 1 against the Chargers. Can the Eagles do it again in week 2? I freaking hope so, man. Let's go to Truth Lives. What's up, man? Mitch, you are doing well today. I appreciate that. I was hurting a little bit last night when I got home, and I did 2 boots yesterday for Raider Run, and again, when you're a legend, you're a legend. But my adrenaline was running so freaking high yesterday, like. It almost reminded me, like when you hear stories of like mothers like lifting cars off their kids. I did 2 boots yesterday and I wasn't even phased. Like, my adrenaline was running so sky high that entire Raiders game that as soon as I got off the live show, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, it really truly did. It hit me like an absolute ton of flipping bricks where I was like, oh my God, I'm hurting right now. And I went home last night. Chuck and I were hanging out watching a little bit of Sunday Night Football. I probably didn't feel good until probably a good 10:30 last night. Chuck and I went for a long walk. I had to sweat out some of the toxins, but I predicate myself on being a hard-working dude. I know I'm not the smartest guy. I know I'm not, the best with a lot of things out there, but to me, nobody's ever going to outwork me, and nobody's going to ever show anybody out there that people have more dedication to the nation than I do. My job here is to be the voice of the nation. My job here is to be the #1 most watched Raiders show, and I hold that very near and dear to my heart. So I'm glad I'm doing well. It's also a lot easier showing up on a Monday after a Raiders win, which we all know that. Let's go to Nathan F. You're next up here on the show again. If we get to 500 likes on this live video, every single one of our moderators today gets a free entry for a shot to win an Ashton Jeanty helmet. Let's go to Nathan F. You think Pete tries to go for Reek Wolin next year? I think it's definitely a possibility. Reek was somebody who Pete Carroll really, really liked, and he kind of fits that, I'm looking for an athletic freak of nature at the cornerback position, but Reek Wolin does a lot of really special things. I know that they're going to keep Darian Porter. He's going to be somebody that they have a close eye on. It really could come down to what they think of Eric Stokes, and Stokes did struggle a little bit yesterday. the numbers prove that. My eyeballs proved it as well. But he had a 1 year, $4 million contract. Like, depending on what they decide to do with him could determine whether or not they want to bring in somebody like Reek Woolen or not. But Nathan, I'm all for it. I mean, to me, if Pete wants to go get his guys, go get your guys. Because what they did yesterday with that secondary proved to me that I got to believe in Pete a little bit more. What up, A-Train? Raiders make the wild card, win Monday night, win the mother effing Super Bowl on the 1 yard line, and they give it to Mini Marshawn bookmark it Raiders. I mean, you want to talk about a storyline. If it's on the 1 yard line, I mean, I'll tell you this, Pete definitely won't throw a slant if it's on the 1 in the Super Bowl. You give it to Jeanty. Though, what's funny is, if I'm asking you this question right now, A-Train, Super Bowl on the line, at the 1 yard line, are you running or are you passing? After what we saw yesterday, would you run or would you pass? I want to know right now. R for run, P for pass. Super Bowl on the line. You got Ashton Jeanty in the backfield. They're all crowding the line of scrimmage. I don't know if I am going to run the football. I'll tell you that. Jeanty to start the game. 3 carries, 22 yards. The final 16 carries of that game, 16 yards. For Ashton Jeanty. And there was even a few runs where Jeanty broke a tackle or two to get 3 yards. And I still think that they end up running the rock here. But man, oh man, you'd have to think about it with that offensive line right now. I see Hot Rod saying pass. Ruben saying run. I don't know if I saw A-Train's answer to this one yet. Nathan F says run, though. I guess he's already saying he's going to run it. He said book it. Probably pass from Tripe. I just think it's at least a conversation starter. James K says tush push with Brock Bowers. If you were actually going to do a tush push, and this is something that low-key I wonder if we see next week, where the Raiders clearly weren't able to get those tough yards, J.J. Pegues was a healthy scratch. And kind of wild. Out of the 11 players the Raiders drafted, only 6 were activated for that Week 1 game. Tommy Mellott, no longer on the team. He's with the Saints. Cam Miller, practice squad quarterback. And then Caleb Rogers, not active yesterday. Charles Grant, not active yesterday. J.J. Pegues, not active yesterday. But the Raiders were a team that voted against the tush push. And I think sometimes when teams vote against certain rules, you have to look at what they do. And there was a part of me that wondered, did they vote against the tush push because they thought by going out and getting J.J. Pegues, by going out and getting a Jeanty, that they'd be able to run the rock? The reason why I bring up Pegues is because at college, he had 21 rush attempts. 18 out of those 21 resulted in either a touchdown or a first down. So Pegues is a lot more athletic, and I do wonder, to the person that said put in Brock Bowers as the tush push guy, I actually think it would be J.J. Pegues. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. I don't know if we're ever going to be able to find out. Let's go to Marathon, though. If you wanted to put J.J. Pegues in, you put Lockie Tossie behind him, and then you want to put Brock Bowers over here, I'm not going to get upset about it. I'll tell you that. What up, Marathon? I knew the O-line struggled, but it was in the fourth when everyone knew we were going to run it. Pete made some great coaching calls, way better. Yeah, you're not wrong. There was a lot of struggles in the fourth, but you're neglecting the second quarter and the third quarter as well. We did not run the football effectively for 3 quarters yesterday, and that just can't happen. Again, Jeanty's first 3 carries, 22 yards. New England made an adjustment. They said, you're going to have to beat us deep. We're going to stack the box in a rainy game. The Raiders weren't able to make that adjustment. I mean, for 16 carries, Jeanty didn't run the ball 16 times in the fourth quarter. 16 carries for 16 yards. That's not just the fourth quarter problem. And, to me, we will get better. We have to get better. I talked about it in my overreaction video this morning where I was like, if I was Pete Carroll, you might need to give your kid a spanking. If you don't know who his kid is, he's our offensive line coach. Let's go to Kel. I'm nervous about Jeanty, not going to lie. I don't think there's any reason to be nervous about Jeanty. Jeanty, when given opportunities yesterday, I thought he looked good. Problem was, he just didn't have any opportunities to run. There were legitimately no running lanes. I don't know what the, yards gained before contact was for the silver and black yesterday, but it wasn't good. Out of the 19 carries that he had, how many yards out of the 38 that he had How many were after contact? Like, I bet you it's almost all of them. And to me, I'm not worried about Jeanty. I'm worried about Jeanty's productivity with our current offensive line. I think that's probably the better way to look at it. Let's go to Raider J. Final super chat here, and I'll be real with you. I did not watch the Jets game at all yesterday, so I have absolutely positively no idea how Armin Membu did. I will look here. I'm not seeing anything on him. I don't have an answer. I'll probably go back and throughout the week. I'll also talk to our Jets guy here at Chat Sports to see how he did. But I know that game was a really high-scoring football game. Do you know how? I mean, I have no idea.
I remember he said he did well.
Okay.
But I don't think it was like crazy. Like there wasn't like a oh my god he was amazing. But I think he was just average.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing
I
right
think
now.
We'd have to look more into that.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm seeing a lot of Armin Membu played really, really well yesterday, is from what I'm seeing. Again, I'll watch the tape. I'll go look at it. I mean, I think a lot of y'all know how I felt about Armin Membu, where he would have been the player that I personally would have drafted if I was the Las Vegas Raiders, and it's not because I don't think that not because I don't love Ashton Jeanty and the talent that he brings. It's just my personal opinion was our offensive line wasn't good enough to take Jeanty at number 6. And that point proved to be true yesterday. And, you know, like to me, we tried to address our offensive line by adding Alex Kappa. Come on. We got to be better than that as a coaching staff. But again, hopefully we get better. Hopefully we learn and we keep this thing rolling. I do see a few more super chats, but I do want to get into a segment here on the show, and that's kind of the way that I want to be able to run a lot of these Monday live shows. I want it to be a conversation between you and I. I want it to, you know, be a good time where we get to enjoy Victory Monday a little bit more, because I know there's still a lot of thoughts. I know also we lost our internet yesterday, which kind of zapped us to be able to talk to fans right after the game ended. But at the end of the day, when the Raiders win, lose, or tie, I am going to be here every single Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And it is 10 a.m. Pacific. I know it is early. I'm going to have videos ready for you guys to go. And the first one that we're going to talk about here is our Week 1 winners and losers. And also, if you're trying to get in the duck race, it is a $10 Venmo at MitchellRens365. After the Week 1 winners and losers, I will give you guys an update on where exactly we stand for this duck race. Because I know the last time that I looked, I didn't get, like, I'm looking at it now. We got a lot more people that are trying to get in. It's a $10 race today. We will do it at the very, very end of today's program. So, we are also 50 likes away from giving all of our moderators a shot to win a signed Ashton Jeanty helmet. And if you're like, Mitch, how the hell do I win an Ashton Jeanty signed helmet? $5 super chat for one raffle. You know what? If you send in, let's have some fun today. If you bang today on the Raiders Report, if you bang today, I'll give you, oh man, what's a good number? 25 raffle tickets? If you bang today, I'll give you 25 instead of the 20. Give you a few extra. Jeanty did score a touchdown, which I needed, though. I think from a running back who got me 19 carries and a touchdown, I don't know if I've ever seen lower fantasy points output. I think I got 12 points from Jeanty. 19 carries, 38 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, man, oh, man. J.R. Cappers, F. McDaniels, always F. McDaniels. All right, y'all, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to get into our winners and losers from Week 1's game against the Patriots. I'm going to talk about this from an offensive standpoint. I'm going to talk about it from a defensive standpoint, and then once we get out, I'm going to go through them and answer the super chats. I'm going to tell you how many people are in the duck race, and we're going to keep this live Victory Monday show rocking and rolling. You ready? Yeah, no, that's fine. Ready to rock and roll, so we're going right to that? All right. You guys ready? If you're ready to get this Victory Monday, keep it going. I want to see some VMs down below because, man, oh, man, Mondays are so much better after a Victory Monday. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, I'm going to be looking at the Raiders' Week 1 winners and losers against the New England Patriots. This is going to be a segment that I do every single Monday, and for those that do not know, I'm going to be live every Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, here on the Raiders Report. I will say I will start with the offensive side of the football, and then I will go to the defensive side of the football. But if you're a real one, hey, man, hit that subscribe button, comment RO4L down below, because I know this. If you're hanging out with me on Thursday, if you're hanging out with me on Sunday for game day, and you're hanging out with me on a Monday, means you are an absolute real one. And to me, don't be a loser. Make sure you're subscribed to the Raiders Report. Shout out to everyone that also helped us get to 200,000 subs. It is a very, very humbling thing, and I can't tell you how much I love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. So let's go to our winners here on offense, and I'm going to go from 5, work my way down to 1, 1 being the biggest winner. I got to show some love here to Trey Tucker. Like, to me, Tucker had the very first touchdown catch in this game for the Las Vegas Raiders, and he really, I think, set the tone early on, trying to stretch the field, had that early touchdown catch in the game, but overall, that 26-yarder, when you give Geno Smith the ability to throw the football down the field a little bit more, I think we were also just wanting to see Tucker take that next step, and we've been kind of waiting for Tucker to take that step. 2 catches, 54 yards, that touchdown again, and like, to me, the pre-snap motion, you got to be able to respect the speed. It's that third year. I am happy for Trey Tucker. He's also getting some punt return. He's also getting some kick return opportunities, so good stuff there from Tucker. Let's go to number 4 here for my Raiders winners on the offensive side of the football, and I'm going to show some love to Colton Miller, because to me, if our offensive line is going to play the way that it did, and God, I hope I never see that offensive line performance again this entire season, we got to be able to show love to Miller. And to me, this is going to be an attack that wants to really throw the ball down the field. Chip Kelly's showing you 9 passes completions of over 20 yards, the most in the NFL. That means you got to protect. Colton Miller did a really solid job yesterday, by far the best Raiders offensive lineman, and protecting Geno's blind side is such a critical and important role this game. There might not be a lot of stats to back it up, but to me, Colton Miller deserves to be on this list. Let's go to number 3 here for Raiders winners on offense. I'm going to show some love to Michael Mayer, because Mayer had his number called. And when you're the backup tight end on the Raiders and you know you're behind Brock Bowers, you might not know how many opportunities you're going to get. Mayer, once Bowers went down yesterday with a knee injury, he answered the call. And 4 catches, 38 yards, but to me, he blocked well. Running and pass blocking. Had a very clutch 4th down and 1 catch. I mean, I don't know if there was a bigger catch outside of the Dante Thornton 3rd and 20 catch that happened yesterday. But we heard a lot of the offseason, Chip Kelly wanting to use Michael Mayer a little bit more. And I think for Mayer, somebody that missed a lot of time last season, somebody that really hasn't been used the way that we've wanted to see Mayer get used, when he got his opportunities yesterday, he showed you that he is a capable tight end and a very good tight end. That is a big, big win for this Raiders offense. Let's go to number 2 here, and it's the other tight end. It's going to be Brock Bowers, the leading receiver for the Raiders yesterday. 5 catches, 103 yards on 8 targets, had a long of 38. And when you have a tight end that can run by you, that can go up and catch the ball, that can block, just do everything that he does, it's why he's the best tight end in the National Football League. He did leave the game early yesterday, still was able to put up those numbers with a minor knee injury. I talked about it earlier this morning on my Raiders Overreaction Monday video. I actually also made the announcement late last night. For those of you that are watching this live, I said I ended up getting a text from a source that said Brock's knee is okay. He expects to play Monday Night Football. He actually was trying to go out there and play. I saw that be reported. I believe that was reported by Ian Rappaport. But I was told yesterday, and I said this on the live, that essentially I was told because of the field conditions, because of the game, the Raiders felt like they had it in check, and they didn't want to risk further injury. But Bowers was trying to go out there. He was trying to play through it. But to me, Bowers is healthy, and Bowers looks very good. That makes him a winner on today's show. But to me, the biggest winner on the offensive side of the football yesterday had to be Geno Smith. And his ability to throw the ball down the field, he's second in the NFL right now in passing yards, first in the NFL in explosive throw right down the field. His offensive line was good. The running game was not good at all. He was still able to throw for 362 yards, a touchdown, did have the pick, but it's how he bounced back after the interception. Throws a bad interception, 3 and out. Now we're down 10-7 at halftime, and you're sitting there, you're going, Oh, my God. Is this really going to be how this year goes? Geno didn't doubt himself. He was able to bounce back. And, he even said this after the win against New England. I'm me. That's all that I think about. I don't think about anything else. I'm me. I know who I am. I know what I can do. Mistakes happen. Things happen within the game. There was a tip pass. I made the right read. Could have made a better throw. Not going to hang my head. I'm going to keep going. I just know who I am. I know what I can do on that field, so I never worry. To me, that is a winner's mentality. And let's face it, life's going to throw you curveballs. On the football field, life in general, you're going to get dealt curveballs. Life's going to throw you lemons. But shout out to the movie, one of my favorite of all time. When life throws you lemons, some people say F the lemons and bail. Geno Smith, he's going to make some lemonade out of it. And I'll tell you what, tastes pretty sweet to me. So I want to know down below, it's going to be the pinned comment on today's show. Who was the Raiders' biggest winner against the Patriots? Was it somebody on offense? Was it somebody on defense? I want to know from you. My answer coming up here after this YouTube ad break. To me, the biggest winner in the Raiders' Week 1 game, it has to be Geno Smith. I think you also got to be able to show love to Pete Carroll for being able to make the proper adjustments. For the first time in a long time, the Raiders have a quarterback, the Raiders have a head coach that give us an opportunity to win every single game. When you have that combination and you're able to go with that combination, you win football games and you could be a playoff caliber team in the National Football League. Let's now go to the losers on the offensive side of the football. I am going to put Ashton Jeanty on this list, and I'm not really going to put Jeanty in terms of the way he played. I put Jeanty on this list as an offensive loser because of the way the offensive line played. And I know for a fact there's going to be a lot of people chirping about Jeanty's game. I've already seen it. I've seen, oh my God, Raiders, Jeanty averaged 2.0 yards per carry. With all due respect, if you're sitting there going, Ashton Jeanty, 2.0 yards per carry, Geno Smith double birds to you. And it's just because you didn't watch the game. Though there should be some concern for this organization that drafted a running back at number 6 overall. The only way that it makes sense to draft a running back at number 6 overall is if you have an offensive line that can block for him. Let's prove that we have an offensive line that can block for him, which, coming in here at number 2, is going to be DJ Glaze. And I just expect more out of Glaze moving forward. He was one of the lowest graded Raiders offensive linemen from this past week. I believe I saw he had a 48 overall PFF grade, and I knew the right side of the offensive line was getting cooked. And that's where, New England is going to go, and that's where all these other defensive coordinators, they're going to go. They're not going to go after Colton Miller. They're going to go after DJ Glaze, JPJ, Jordan Meredith, and realistically Dylan Parham. And that's what they did over and over and over again. But realistically, the biggest, and I mean the biggest loser on the offensive side of the football, there's only one answer here, and I'm just going to say the entire interior offensive line. Dylan Parham, I'm looking at you. Jordan Meredith, I'm looking at you. Jackson Powers-Johnson, I am definitely looking at you. And I say that because, I have been pounding on the table that JPJ should play center. And maybe he's a better center than he is a right guard, but I went back and I watched the tape yesterday, and I couldn't believe how bad JPJ was yesterday. I want to be very, very clear on that. I actually don't know if it would have been better to put him at center. There were times where I thought Jordan Meredith did an okay job. There were times where Parham got beat. But the biggest, weakest link on that Raiders offensive line yesterday, it was Jackson Powers-Johnson. And it's just the truth. I still want to go back and I want to be able to watch even more tape, because when you watch just the amount of tape that I watched yesterday, you still really only see certain parts. The next thing I want to be able to watch is, how many times New England is literally scheming to go after Glaze and JPJ. What are the plays that are happening? But I was very disappointed, and I mean a very disappointed Raiders fan in the way that interior offensive line ended up playing from top to bottom. It was really, really, really disturbing to see how bad it was. Coming up next here on the show, we will get into the Raiders winners and losers on the defensive side of the football. Before we do, though, today's show sponsor is Prize Picks, and you can get $50 when you play 5 over with our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right, it can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is simple to play. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in and win a bunch of money, actually 2,000 times your money. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and I absolutely love them. If you want to know, and I will show you, Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Now, if you want to see the lineup that I did, this was a flex play lineup. This was 20 to win, 364. Luckily, I was able to turn that 20 into 40 because of the flex play. And overall, I think personally that Prize Picks is a lot of fun overall. All right, y'all, so I know we're getting ready to do winners and losers. I am going to pause real quickly here, and I'm going to send you guys over to Pete Carroll. He literally just started talking for the press conference, so we're going to go to Pete. When I get back, we will finish off our winners and losers. No need to leave. You can still watch the press conference bit about the Raiders game yesterday, and he was live for about 19 minutes in total, so if anybody wants to go back and check out his entire press conference, please, don't be afraid to do so. Again, credit to the Las Vegas Raiders for, the whole press conference and all that type of good stuff. Maybe we get more people to talk. Maybe we don't today, but that's also one of the reasons why, that's the only press conference today. The other reason why I really wanted to be able to do a Monday live show is because I like being able to just listen and interact and kind of, go back and forth with a lot of y'all based on what our coaching staff says after a game day, and I don't always get the opportunity to do that. So that was something that I really, truly wanted to be able to do. But, shout out to all of y'all. Sorry that the audio was a little bit low. It was just Pete. I think Pete's 73 years old, and the audio is from the Raiders side. And you also got to remember that we're not going to be able to hear the questions that they ask because their audio is just not good enough. But in the future, don't be afraid to let me know what you guys hear, what you guys see up on screen. It does help us out a lot in our team from top to bottom. So, yeah, it's all good. We'll figure it out. So, we still got 950 people watching this stream. Shout out to each and every one of y'all. What we're going to do, we were literally in the middle of a cut. We were literally in the middle of a segment where we were talking about Raiders winners and losers. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to go right back into that segment. We are going to go now to the players on the defensive side of the football. And just give me 1 second here. Yeah, I just got to get on I just want to get in the right spot for me. Sorry, y'all. Just bear with me for a second. So what we're going to end up doing, I just want to get something. What we're going to do is, again, we're going to keep on rocking here, and we are going to keep on doing our grades overall. I just want to have something pulled up, and we are good. All right. You guys ready? I hope so. Sorry. Thanks for bearing with us here. We're trying some new stuff on our end. Hopefully you guys are all, it's all good with you. A-Train, I see what you did. Give me a little bit here, A-Train. Let me finish this segment, and then we'll have some fun here on Victory Monday. You good? You good? All right, let's get back into the cut right now. Let's now go to the Raiders winners on the defensive side of the football. To me, I got to show love to Jamal Adams. I was not excited when the Raiders went out and they got Adams originally, but he is making me eat my words, and I'm starting to get full. He had a 90.9 PFF grade yesterday and played a total of 25 snaps. He dropped back into coverage about 13 of those times, but when he was up near the line of scrimmage, you felt his physicality. When he dropped back, he did exactly what you were supposed to do. And overall, that's not Jamal Adams, so don't show it. So, to me, I was impressed by what Adams did. And he's out there. He's flying all around that football. And to me, he's really doing a good job setting the tone. And when you have that ability to really, truly set the tone on defense with players that maybe didn't anticipate getting a lot out of them, when you lose a Landon Roberts, shout out to Jamal Adams. To me, he's got to be somebody that you mentioned. Let's go to number 4 here. And even though he cost me my Prize Picks lineup, Max Crosby is going to come in here at number 4. He had a nice sack earlier in the game. again, he's somebody that just wrecks havoc, doesn't take really any plays off. 71 total snaps. That was tied for the most out of any player yesterday. Crosby, Chin, Devin White, Isaiah Pola-Mao, Kai Blue Kelly, and Eric Stokes were the only players to play 71 snaps, and he had 2 tackles. He had a tackle for loss, 2 quarterback hits, the sack that I mentioned. But what Max does is he just opens up so many other avenues for so many other players. And I think what you saw yesterday in that Raiders-Patriots game was New England kind of tried to take Max out of the game. They were doubling him a lot. They were chipping him a lot. They were basically saying, somebody else on that Raiders offensive line has to beat me besides number 98. And because that happened, it did. It freed up more opportunities where the Raiders in total had 4 sacks yesterday. Tyree Wilson had 1. John Ulalu had 1. Malcolm Kuntz had 1. And it was Max Crosby, I think, just showcasing his special ability in the run game and in the passing game. To me, he's got to be a winner. Let's go to number 3 here on the list, and it's going to be Devin White. He led the team in tackles yesterday, but he was so good, man, in the running game. He was so reliable. If you ran near him, he was wrapping you up, and he was putting your ass on the ground. And I know when Landon Roberts went down, one of my concerns was, how does this team look, especially in terms of stopping the run? I knew Pete Carroll and Mike Vrabel were going to have a buckle your chin strap type of game, but for White to make 11 tackles, to have a tackle for loss, he just showed me so much of that athletic ability that you want to see from your guy in terms of just him getting north and south, and he did a really solid job, a 67.3 overall PFF grade. But what I want to see out of Devin White, the tackling ability and getting after the quarterback. And I thought that he was able to do all of those things yesterday. Let's go to number 2 here for my Raiders winners on the defensive side of the football. I'm going to go with Isaiah Pola-Mao at free safety. And to me, he had a nice interception. There were times earlier in the game where I was like, I want to see it be a little bit more, but he made some clutch tackles, a big interception there, really did a much better job flying all around the football field in the second half. 66.1 PFF grade, played a total of 71 snaps, but I think it was the leadership that he really showed in that second half and the ability to use him all over the football field. It confused New England from time to time. 5 solo tackles, the interception, a PBU. The Isaiah Pola-Mao that you saw in the second half is the Isaiah that you need to see more of, and I'm hoping that we continuously get to see more of it moving forward. But to me, the number 1 winner from yesterday's game on defense, I want to give a loud shout out to number 36, Kai Blue Kelly. And let's just be honest, transparent, if you will. The pass interference call that was against Kai Blue is just an absolute joke, man. If you're a young corner, the play that Kai Blue got called for pass interference, I actually think that you should watch that play because I actually think it is textbook of what you were supposed to do as a corner. You're supposed to get your head turned around. You're supposed to fight for the football. He even hits the football before the receiver does it and got called on PI. I think one of the biggest question marks that we had on this defense was, how are our cornerbacks going to hold up? How is our secondary going to hold up? Kai Blue Kelly was the best Raiders corner in that game yesterday. He was better than Eric Stokes. He was definitely better than Darnay Holmes. But to me, he showed you that he could handle the job. First start ever for the Las Vegas native, and I really do think that Kai Blue Kelly, he might not have been the true best player overall, but in terms of the biggest winner, personal winner for the Raiders yesterday on defense, I think it's got to be Kai Blue Kelly. Though, there is somebody else that I think deserves their flowers. And if y'all haven't seen, my guy Lonnie Johnson Jr., he's on the IR, and his wife took a picture of him yesterday watching the game at home. And if you want to see some hilarious videos, I don't remember what Lonnie's wife's Instagram is, but, I was on Instagram, I was on Twitter late last night, and she's posting videos of him. Now, it's basically when your husband's on IR but still wants to play. That's Raider mentality. That is the true, I want to be out there on the field with my guys. I want to go to war with my guys. And yeah, it's kind of a funny thing. It's a joking thing. But at the same time, I believe it. And at the same time, Lonnie Johnson has said how bad he wants to be a Raider. And to me, when you see this type of shit, It just really stems to we got a good locker room. We got the right guys. They're buying into what you're selling. Lonnie Johnson Jr., as far as I'm concerned, deserves to be a winner. I saw Seth Milbourne said, where's Tyree Wilson? Tyree Wilson was also a winner. He just wasn't in my top 5. Coming up next here, though, on the show, Raiders losers on the defensive side of the football. And this was a lot more difficult to be able to find, and I'm happy that I struggled finding 3 losers against the New England Patriots in Week 1 action. Before I get into my losers, let's talk about the MVPs. Raider Ron was the MVP yesterday, ended up hitting the gong twice. He's just the craziest of all mother effers. There's a reason why I got RR tatted on my leg. There's a reason why this show is as crazy as what it is, and it's because of all the legendary people that show up and pull up every single Raiders game day. Raider Ron, you were the MVP. I believe I have a few Raider Ron jerseys, so I'll be rocking another one next week on Monday Night Football. But I also want to show some love to people that finished in the top 10 of XP, because I'm live here on Monday because of all the effort. Everyone here always shows up on Thursdays, on Tuesdays, on Raiders game days. And I want to be able to provide even more content to Raider Nation. And I want y'all to look me dead in the eyes. If you guys keep bringing commitment to excellence every single day, I'm going to bring commitment to excellence every single day. You're going to get more live content. You're going to get more Raiders Report videos this season than you have ever had in your entire life. Why? Because of the dedication and the commitment to excellence that y'all show me. So from the bottom of my heart, Wild One, Venthrak, Alex McGuire, the Soup Daddy. I mean, we had so many people. A-Train showing love today. You guys keep bringing the energy. We're going to keep bringing the content. That's why you should hit that subscribe button. Let's now go to the losers, though, on defense. This was tough for me. And I actually I hated having to put the players on here that I did. I am going to put Eric Stokes on here because when I went back and I watched the film, if I'm comparing Stokes and Kai Blue Kelly, Eric Stokes was the worst corner. Now, he had the tougher assignment. He was on Stephon Diggs. But to me, Diggs at times did look a little bit slow. I'm hoping that, Stokes can get a little bit more of that physicality, get a little bit more of that confidence, a little bit more of that swagger overall. I actually don't know what he did on defense, PFF-wise. They gave him a 48.3, so I guess that kind of backs up with some of the stuff that I saw. But overall, I am going to put Eric Stokes on here because if I'm going to do this segment, I just got to be honest, and to me, Stokes was a loser. Number 2 is going to be a Landon Roberts for the simple fact, and the simple fact only, that he had to leave the game early with that sprained elbow. Still don't know the exact severity of that injury, and I'm hoping that we're able to get a little bit more information on it. But I think the other reason why you have to consider a Landon Roberts a loser, it's not really anything that Roberts did. I thought in the opportunities that he was given yesterday and the limited opportunities, I thought he was okay. To me, he's a run stopper and a run stopper only. The problem for Roberts was Jamal Adams was really good. Devin White, really good. Jermaine Pratt, really good. So I almost wonder if you're the Raiders, you go back and you watch the tape and you're like, our defense was better yesterday when a Landon Roberts was not on the field. Not saying that you take him off the field, but that's a true statement. The second half adjustments, this was a better defense when a Landon Roberts was not on the field. Let's go, though, to the biggest loser, and when you really sit back and you watch the tape, I actually don't even think it's close. It's Darnay Holmes. We got to be able to figure something out with our nickel corner position, and hopefully when Lonnie Johnson comes back, we're kind of maybe able to move around some of our safeties to play up near the nickel. But 26 total snaps. He was getting picked on left and right, and it's kind of a frustrating situation because I don't really think anybody is surprised that Darnay Holmes was probably my biggest loser, and I think it's just funny. When you watch tape and then in the lines with PFF, it does make a lot more sense. He had a 35.2 overall grade and a 30.1 in coverage. That's just not going to get it done. To me, those are the biggest losers, though, on defense. And since this is a winners and losers segment, I want to know from all of y'all, be honest with me, who was the Raiders' biggest loser versus the New England Patriots? If it's too difficult to identify one name, I will give everybody the simplest of simple cop-outs with this after this YouTube ad break. Interior offensive line. Everybody on the O-line, not named Colton Miller, are all acceptable answers for me if you do really look at the Raiders, winners and losers. I could also say Josh McDaniels. I could also say Mike Vrabel. Cry about it a little bit more for my guy Max Crosby. For those that do not know, the rest of our live show programming for this entire week, I am actually going to be live tonight. Monday Night Football, crazy Monday for me. Mondays are going to be 16-hour days, and I hope that you pull up with me for the entire Monday. We will go live about, I think this is an hour, maybe an hour and 20 before kickoff. Monday Night Football. Make sure you're there. We got a hell of a game tonight. J.J. McCarthy up against Caleb Williams. Minnesota Vikings against the Bears. Little NFC North action. Then on Tuesday, I will be live. This is Let's Punish the Patriot Fan Day. This is going to be a lot of fun. And then you already know, Thursday Night Football, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. Though, yeah, I think that's right. That's when we go live. 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific here on the Raiders Report. Subscribe, turn on your noties, be ready to hang out with me all week long during the season because we're going to be hanging out a lot more as long as that's all right with y'all. All right, everyone. Appreciate you guys tuning in to today's show. We still have a lot more segments to get through. We still have some super chats to get to. But my dad, for those that did not know this, he used to work at a train station called Norfolk Southern. My dad was a train conductor for the entire Northeast. And then I hit my very first Little League home run.
Wow.
He quit his job, and he didn't drive trains anymore. Though, This is a train that could get off the tracks.
Did he ever, conduct anything like in the alphabet? Like, did it go through numbers or was it like the alphabet?
Man, I don't know if my dad's great with the alphabet.
Was it like the B train, the
No.
C train, anything around there? No?
You know what? Since he was in charge, it was probably the A train.
Was it now?
I think it was. A train! Bang! Chugga, 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 chugga. A train, today's MVP with a bang. What up, A train? Give your boy that jersey. We're going to put you in for 25 raffle entries for a chance to get, it's also not a jersey. It's a signed Ashton Jeanty helmet, courtesy of John Fallon. So, Raiders Report watcher John Fallon, he hooked us up with a signed Ashton Jeanty Raiders helmet. We will give that away at the very, very end of this month, but I got you in for 25 raffle tickets. Raiders team making the Super Bowl. Y'all bookmark that. Let's get it signed. 8-0, you know. I'll say this. Luckily, the helmet is already signed. It is signed by Ashton Jeanty, so you're good there. I want to be able to say I love the Super Bowl prediction. I want to be able to say that I agree with you. Obviously, I am a hopeful fan, but at the exact same time, we don't have the offensive line to be able to go to the Super Bowl. And I don't know if you watched that game last night. As proud and as happy as I am to be a Raiders fan today, and they, damn it, man, they looked good. I really think the Raiders played a good game. The Bills and Ravens look a little different. And, to me, I know the AFC's, it's always going to run through the Chiefs. I don't care if they're 0 whatever. It's going to run through Kansas City. The Chiefs are going to be a team to obviously keep an eye on, but the Bills and the Ravens, I don't know how you don't say that those two teams aren't the two best teams in the NFL. Maybe you can show some love to the Green Bay Packers. I thought they played really well against Detroit, but man, oh man, I love the enthusiasm. I love the hype. I love the energy that you've been bringing today. I'm not going to do a beer. I'm really sorry, and it's something that I've really told myself that I'm just not going to do on Mondays. We'll let game days get crazy. Thursday night footballs, I'm probably going to silver and black out every Thursday night. But to me, to ensure that you guys are getting the best content that you possibly can on Mondays and Tuesdays and even Wednesdays, I got to make sure that my 16-hour Mondays are as alcohol-free as humanly possible. Though, the only way that I would ever have a beer on a Monday is like Monday Night Football, late game. Like next Monday, we'll have some beers because the Raiders are playing on Monday Night Football. So, A-Train, hope you don't get mad at that, but I also hope that you understand and respect what I'm trying to do this upcoming season. A-Train, next hot take. Geno Smith beats the Raiders' passing record for a season with the all-time Raiders record in rushing. Brock takes the all-time tight end record. Just win, baby. I don't know if you saw my morning show that I talked about today, but this was actually the pinned comment, and I asked, will Geno Smith break Derek Carr's single-season record for most passing yards in a season? I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but I do remember it was like 4,806. I think it's 4,806.
I have the number. I want to see if you can guess it.
That's my guess. The numbers in my head are 4,806 or it's 4,860. That's my guess. Shit. I was so I should have got it with the 4. 4,804. Son of a gun. I knew I was close. I mean, he's got a shot. He's got a legitimate shot, no doubt about it. What's up, Blake Dufresne? Mitch, do you think Kai Blue Kelly and Devin White will improve as the year goes on? Looked great yesterday. I don't necessarily know if I need them to improve because I think asking them to play better, sure, that's the hope, right? You always want to get better and better and better, but I do think that I don't necessarily need them to get, like, better. If you told me I can get the Kai Blue Kelly that I had yesterday and the Devin White that I had yesterday and I can get that for 17 games, where's the line? I'll sign up for it right now. You always want to improve. Yes, but they were very good yesterday. You know, Kai Blue and Devin White, both two of my big winners from yesterday's stream. And they were great. They were truly great. Let's go to the truth bomb. Thornton going to be a fantasy league winner by week 8. I don't know if fantasy league winner. I think that's a little bit of an overkill. Like, again, I saw somebody the other day on social media was like, "Oh, he's going to be the next Puka Nacua." That's not going to happen.
I think underrated flex.
I think the name, honestly, to look at is what, like, Martavis Bryant did as a rookie.
Yeah.
Like, to me, Martavis Bryant is exactly what Dante Thornton is. Now, I don't remember exactly what Martavis did as a rookie, but rookie year Martavis Bryant had 26 catches, 549 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Like, that's a year that you sign up for easily for Thornton. And, you know, he's somebody that has that deep field ability. For the Raiders to go to him on 3rd down and 20, I think shows that downfield ability. He's going to have some weeks. Like, if you're in a best ball league in fantasy, I agree with this statement. Because I do think Dante Thornton is going to have weeks where you're like 4 catches for 130 yards and a touchdown, right? Like, he's just that athletically gifted. But there are going to be some weeks where he has a catch for 20 yards, right? Or he has 2 catches for whatever he had yesterday. I know the downfield ability that Thornton has is really, truly special, but, you know, 2 catches, 45 yards on 4 targets, long of 36, that's not a league winner, but you can absolutely positively see the upside there. Let's go to Ruthless Raider. Love the pick. I can't remember the last time I saw so many pass blocks from up on the line of scrimmage. Our defense was all up in May's face. In the second half, yes. First half, no. First half, we were trying to bring pressure with 4, and we just weren't getting home. And I'm really proud that Pete Carroll literally went up. Also, Pete, by the way, did not have a firm update on the status of Landon Roberts. Also, Pete did not give an update on Brock. But, again, for those that watch this show, I was told that Brock's going to be okay. That's why you hit that subscribe button. Though, like, to me, first half, not good. Second half, we brought pressure. I hope that going forward, the Raiders realize that this has got to be a team that brings a lot of pressure, or else we're going to get picked apart in that secondary. We're also, though, about to get a real test. Chargers going to be a good test. The Commanders are going to be a hell of a test. Chicago Bears are going to be a hell of a test. Right? Those are 3 teams that I would say are better than the New England Patriots. I would say they're better than the New England Patriots.
Who?
The Commanders, the Bears, and the Chargers.
I want to see the Bears play.
I want to see the Bears play, too.
Because they haven't played yet. Everyone else has played a week.
I know.
Like, they win the offseason every single year.
Yeah.
Wow, the Bears are here. I think they're the new Cowboys.
They might.
It's like, wait, this might be the Bears' year. And
we'll see. You know, like, I wanted Ben Johnson. After watching that game yesterday with Pete, you got to feel pretty damn good about having Pete Carroll.
Also, after watching the Packers-Lions game, that was not good.
Dude, it was scary. Like watching, I mean, the Lions look like a team that lost their offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. They did. They look like a team that lost their OC and a team that lost their DC. I do want to say I got a few people getting in here the duck race. The last name that I saw was Victor Lobos. I do see Jaime Whitford. I gotcha. Juan Nav. I gotcha. Bradley La. Gotcha. Marcos Moreno. I see ya. Actually, Jaime, you got two of them. For those that don't know, today's duck race is a $10 Venmo. I'm seeing a lot of 20s, which is fine, but you're just gonna get two ducks. Chris M, I see ya. Justine Guns, I see ya. Steven Huerta, I got you. So as it stands right now, it is a $10 Venmo for a chance to go home with $90 on the Raiders Report. Oh my goodness. When I grew up in Danville, Pennsylvania, shout out to the 570, I grew up on a railroad track. And every time the train would go by at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, it would wake me up. And it sounded a lot like this. Chugga, 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 chugga. A-Train! Bang! You gotta believe and tell the nation we're winning the Super Bowl this year. I'm going to slam one for you because I called today for this. Raiders! I mean, A-Train. I don't know if you got me on Instagram. A-Train, what's your IG? You want to slam a beer? I'll let you slam a beer on the show. I do not know what your Instagram is, but if you want to FaceTime me real quick and throw one down, I'm down. Like I said, in my mind, I cannot drink on Mondays if I want to be able to do a Monday live show after a Raiders game day every single Monday. So if you want to throw one down here, A-Train, you let me know. You give me your Instagram handle down below, and you let me know. I got one for you. I'll FaceTime you. I got you. To the 830 people here that are watching this Victory Monday, Dan, it hits different. Shout out to A-Train for being today's MVP. My guy showing up, showing out. I appreciate you, my dog. Let's go to John Rodriguez. Uh-oh. Though, A-Train, is your first name Marcus? Ramon says, driving through Danville, PA right now. Ramon, that's kind of wild. Anthony. Oh, boy. All right, I'm going to look. How do you spell that? Anthony.
S-E-I-T.
S-E-I-T.
S-I-N-G-E-R.
All right.
All right.
All right. All right. You all right, mate? You all right? I just saw, I'm here, baby. All right, here we go. Here we go, A-Train. Let's go, A-Train. Let's go, A-Train. All right, so I'm not going to do the beer. You got Coors Light. My guy A-Train's about to throw a beer down. Can I get some A-Trains down below? Show him some love. Today's MVP. Let's get it going, man. Let's get it going, man. Let's freaking get it. A-Train, let's go. Let's go. Honestly, I'm glad he's doing it and I don't have to on a Monday. Are the mountains blue? If the mountains are blue, that's a painful beer chug right there. Rah! I don't know if we got a train or a dinosaur on the stream, but shout out to you, dude. Let's get it. You got one for me? Can I get a Raiders? You got one for me? You ready? He's lit right now. Raiders! Oh, man. A-Train is a crazy, crazy mother effer. I don't know. I've had a 60-second run-in with A-Train, and he's one guy that I'll tell you this right now. if I ever had another bachelor party, he might get invited. If I ever had another bachelor party, he might get invited. Dude, he was growling. If he was a dinosaur, he would be...
I think all dinosaurs growl.
Well, certain ones roar. A-Train, Allosaurus, that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah.
I'm a big dinosaur
like
guy. Big dinosaur guy. A-Train, the Allosaurus. I'm not kidding. He was really growling at me. I don't know what's happening over there. John, my biggest winner yesterday, Michael Mayer and Thornton. You know, to me, I'm guessing you mean Michael Mayer because you put M, though you spelled it like Jacobe Meyers. I think Mayer, you got to be very impressed. He was one of my winners yesterday. Again, to me, when I think of my winners and losers, I think about, what that player is at, like, the moment of that game, like, where it starts, right? Like, Mayer and Thornton weren't the MVPs, but to me, the two biggest plays of that game yesterday, 4th down and 1, ball completed to Michael Mayer. 3rd down and 20, ball completed to Dante Thornton. That makes them a winner in my book. So I get the thought process here, and I agree that they are two of the big winners from that football game. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. A-Train, I respect right back at you, brother. Right back at you, dude. Yeah, you can pay without confirming the last 4 digits. I mean, with all due respect, I'm not going to send you my last 4 digits of my phone number. I've given my phone number out in the past. I try not to do it because some people unfortunately took advantage of it. But you can get in the duck race at Mitchell Rents 365. If it makes you feel better, I do accept friend requests, though. I have a few hundred pending right now, which I guess if that makes you feel better, I can go through here and confirm some friend requests. Yeah, holy crap. Hang on. Confirm. 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 Oh, boy. All right, we got through the first 50. And I believe now we are good. Oh, dude, that's hilarious. That's actually hilarious. I do that to Chugs all the time. Chris M., you're in. Justine Gons, you in. Steven Huerta in. Wolverine, you in. Right now, it's a $10 Venmo for a chance to win $110 here on the Raiders Report. But Darth Vader, again, Venmo, we use Venmo just because Venmo allows us to do it. Cash App, unfortunately, I don't know why, but they don't allow me to do it. Dylan Erickson, so in other words, you in. Yep, times 50. Bingo. Z Royal Raider, I feel guys like Miller and Myers were a little snubbed out of being captains this year. I get what we did, but I feel this team has a lot more leaders than deserve a little bit more credit. I think the way that the Raiders did it this season, and again, I'm not going to fully disagree with what you're saying. I think Colton Miller, deserves to be a team captain. I think Jacobe Meyers deserves to be a team captain. But one of the questions that I asked one of my sources at the Raiders was, why were the captains named the captains? And this was the answer that I got. Geno Smith, captain of the offense. Max Crosby, captain of the defense. A.J. Cole, captain of special teams. And that was something that the entire team agreed on. Again, this isn't just it's not just a coaching thing. It is a players and coaching staff. They come together and they name the team captains. When I reached out to my source, because originally, I'm not going to lie to y'all, when I first saw the team captains and it was those three, and I just saw that Jacoby and Colton weren't on that list, I was kind of like, all right, I was more concerned from a Jacoby standpoint based on the timing of everything with the trade rumors, but I think when you hear it like that, does it make it sound a lot better, right? Because I think A.J. Cole, best punter on the planet, though he didn't play all that great the other day, he gets some love to be the captain there. Max Crosby's the captain of the defense, and the quarterback's the captain of the offense. So, to me, that makes sense. And sometimes when you have too many captains, when you have too many cooks in the kitchen, maybe, the message isn't as loud as received, where to me, those are the parents, right? Like that's mom, dad, and I don't know, grandma and grandpa, right? Like, and they are commanding that team. They're wearing the C's on their chest, and if that's what the players and the coaching staff came up with, I'm okay with it. We're also 1-0, so I'm okay with a lot of stuff today. Let's go to Castro. After yesterday, does your mind change about Devin White and the linebacker group? I still want to see more of it, and I say that because I know this Raiders linebacker room, though, that depth chart, you could take, it's okay. It's just Adams, it's Eichenberg. Overall, like, to me, again, like this Raiders football team, I want to say, yes, I am a little bit more confident in this Raiders team, but also at the exact same time, it was a rainy game. I think that the elements kind of helped out the skill set that this team has from a linebacker standpoint. But going like this next game against Jim Harbaugh, against the Los Angeles Chargers team that is a lot better, I think we're going to just see it a little bit more. It's going to be a bigger test, but I've been burned after week 1 overreactions before, but Devin White played well. He was one of my biggest winners. He led the team in tackles. He was flying all around the football field. I feel more confident. How about that? I think that's maybe my change. We'll still see, but I definitely feel more confident after what I saw. And I mean, Jamal Adams and Devin White, 2 players that everybody wrote aside. They look rejuvenated. They look a lot better, I'll tell you that. Sean Irish, can we give Laube some props for his great returns? I thought the Raiders in general, their whole kicking return game I thought was good. And to me, I was happy that Laube ran with confidence. And that was probably one of my biggest things that I was nervous about, because when you're a rookie, you put the ball on the ground as often as what he did in the limited attempts that he did last season. I just want to see him run with a little bit more, confidence. In a game where it's rainy, it's wet, you don't know how confident you're going to be. He was much, much better. And you're right. He deserves more credit. He deserves more love. But I think also a very underlining move that really illustrates the confidence that the Raiders have in Laube was the silver and black making Raheem Mostert a healthy scratch. And that tells me the way that the Raiders view Zamir White and Dylan Laube, I almost wonder if Raheem Mostert at this point might be the RB4. Let's go to Lakers 805. You're next up here on the Raiders Report. That Max Crosby hit on May should have been a live ball touchdown in the 4th. Gave me Raiders Patriots tuck roll vibes, forward pass. I'm actually kind of mad at myself for not bringing up that play during my Raiders winners and losers. And I was on the live stream going, I thought it was a fumble. And Max thought it was a fumble. And to me, for them not even really to review it was a little bit of a questionable call. Maybe at that point in the game, I don't want to say nobody cared, because the game at that point I felt was very much kind of over. But you're right. I now that you're bringing up that play, that to me should have been a strip sack fumble recovery for a touchdown. And that's actually a play that I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt a little bit more that I don't think about. So, wild, dude. Wild, wild, wild. Playboy, do you see the Titans trying to trade for Jacoby? Maybe, maybe not. To me, the Tennessee Titans, they struggled on offense yesterday, but I think they struggled on offense because of how good Denver's defense is. Denver's defense is one of the best defenses in the National Football League, but if you're the Raiders, you're not trying to trade Jacoby, right? Like, Jacoby wants to be a Raider. He said he's happy to be a Raider. The Raiders have already declined the Jacobe Meyers trade request. Amari Cooper retired. Like, you can't afford to trade Jacoby right now. Like, the Titans could say, sure, I'm trying to trade for him, but if I'm the Raiders with our current wide receiver room, I want a second-round pick. Like, you missed your opportunity to buy low on Jacobe Meyers. That buy low opportunity was 2 weeks ago when he requested a trade. Now, especially, and I know Brock I was told he's okay. I was told that he should be ready to go for week 2 Monday Night Football, but at the same time, with that injury, you even more can't trade Jacoby Meyers. Let's go to Trifle and Jerk. Hopefully I pronounced that. Who? Trifle and Jerk? Jarek? Hopefully I pronounced that right. Commitment to excellence. It's the definition, and I don't know what your commitment to excellence definition is as a Raider fan, but I hope when Raider fans see what we do every single day here at the Raiders Report, that is commitment to excellence, because I know Raider Nation brings it every single day. Verum, how do you know if you win? Oh, the raffle will be at the very end of the month. We'll show it literally here on screen. We have a wheel. The wheel spins. Whoever it lands on, you win. The duck race, if that's what you're talking about, we will also show the duck race live up here on the screen. And it's literally a race. Huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you're talking about the signed Jeanty helmet, we will do that at the very, very end of the month, which I could probably go on the calendar right now. I can see based on when I think it's going to be. We're going to give away the signed Ashton Jeanty helmet on Tuesday, September 30th, live on the Raiders Report. Tuesday, September 30th, live on the Raiders Report is when we will give it away. Let's go to Daniel Meeker. You're next up here on the program. What up, Daniel? I got you here. Gotta love the McDumbass special. Another blown halftime lead. Let's bring on another Raiders season with Wrens and Friends. You know, Wrens and Friends has got a nice little ring to it. I thought about a show one time a few years ago on the Raiders Report called Friends, and it would be spelled F-R-I and then Wrens with benefits. I thought about doing a show like that a while ago.
What would it be?
It would be like a show like you're watching right now. It's essentially just kind of like a Thursday happy hour where we drink some beers, friends, with benefits. And it's just drinking some beers, answering some questions, having a good time.
But not getting too serious, though.
Yeah, we don't want to get too serious.
You don't want to get too serious about anything that's going on.
Yeah, you just want
to have fun.
You're having a good time. You want to keep your options open.
Right.
You
don't have to be there.
See, Reed's still single, so he gets it. He gets the benefits life right now.
I'm just getting the friends, actually.
Oh, you only get the friends? Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Alex in probably 10 days, so I'm hoping to get some benefits tomorrow. We'll see, though. Let's go to A. Sanchez. I thought your offensive line was bad, but then I saw CJ running for his life. I wish that Chugs was here, and you guys get to talk to Chugs later on tonight during Monday Night Football, but again, you can have a talented quarterback. You can have talented skill position players. If you can't block and you don't win in the trenches, doesn't matter. And that Texans offensive line, it's worse than the Raiders offensive line. I'll tell you that. I mean, in the limited snaps that I watched yesterday, the amount of just blind rushers coming through, and CJ, I mean, there was one play that I watched yesterday. It was actually a first down by Stroud. It was a nice play by the Texans. Stroud literally calls hike. The right guard moves. The defender, I mean, untouched, right at Stroud. And literally it's like hike, and he's getting tackled. And he's throwing the ball. He's getting tackled to the ground. They pick up a first down, and they move. And I go into that room, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, Jeremy, what are they doing? He's like, all game. Yeah, and when you're throwing the ball and you don't have any time to throw, can't do it. And that's winning in the trenches is how teams win football games. It's a fact. Chase, what up, Chase? Proud of the defense, but would still love to bring in Asante Samuel Jr. and Jadeveon Clowney. So I know I've talked about Asante Samuel a few times, and this is why I want people to subscribe to the Raiders Report. This is why I want people to watch the live show, because I don't always talk about these topics in the segments that I do when we release them, but these are topics that I talk about when we go live. So Asante Samuel Jr., he's dealing with a neck injury right now. It was reported probably about 2 weeks ago that he's not really planning to play until like week 9.
I was going to say, like,
he didn't pass
his expected return, I think, is mid-October, somewhere around there.
Yeah, mid to late October, which, yeah, week 9 is what, November? So mid to late October is when he's expected to be ready to play NFL action.
And he's like trying to get back, like probably like week 7, week 8.
He's dealing with a neck and spine, dude. That's
what's crazy is he
scary.
Was supposed to be like one of the top free agents, and then did a physical, and then they were like, all right, so what's going on? He's like, I don't know.
Well, usually when a player that is as good as Asante Samuel Jr. and is young as what he is unsigned, there's usually a medical reason. So that's that reason. For Jadeveon Clowney, I'm in. And I say that because the Raiders had a game plan. The Raiders' game plan week 1 to beat New England was, can we get pressure, bring in 4? And they were unable to do that. So if I'm the silver and black, I go out and I look at a guy like Jadeveon Clowney, and I try to figure out, can I get that Caleb Chasen replacement, which I've been begging for all offseason. Caleb played pretty well. I'm going to try to go out and I'm going to try to bolster that defensive line a little bit more. I still have my reservations about this cornerback room, but there's a part of me that goes, could we go out and sign a Stephon Gilmore, make him your cornerback 1, make Eric Stokes your cornerback 2, and then put Kai Blue Kelly in the slot, because Kai Blue Kelly proved to me that he deserves to be a starting corner on the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's go to Stabler for president. Sorry for the Gruden reference, but Jeanty would be better in his offense. He uses a fullback to lead block. Maybe and maybe not, right? And the problem with the John Gruden offense is the John Gruden offense is still stuck back when John Gruden was relevant, right? In 2002. I don't know if I fully agree with this statement, because I actually think when you look at the Chip Kelly offense and how well he does of a job to spread you out and attack down the field, take the top off of a defense, if we had a better offensive line, we wouldn't need a fullback. Like in today's day and age, I think having a fullback is almost a wasted position, because you could just have a Brock Bowers, a Michael Mayer, somebody who's talented enough to play H-back and tight end and use them in multitude of different ways. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved Alec Ingold. And Alec Ingold is one of the nicest guys that I've ever had the opportunity to. I never met him, but I knew a lot of people out in Vegas that are really good friends with Ingold that have the utmost respect for him. One of my buddies, the burger owner guy, his name is Barcode Burger, named a burger after Alec, and he wins the Walter Payton Award all the time for what he does for charities and stuff, especially down there in Miami. But to me, you might be right with the fullback statement, but at the same time, I will never, ever say that the Raiders' offense is better with John Gruden compared to Chip Kelly. And I'm not saying that that's what you're saying, but I also think, like, if the offensive line's better, I will take a Chip Kelly offense with Ashton Jeanty over a John Gruden-led offense with Ashton Jeanty every single day of the week and twice on Sunday. I don't know how many more Super Chats we have. I think we have a few more. I think I saw Cash Cow Show send in a few different ones. Also, I am going to have to go take a quick pee, so I'm going to have you guys hang out here with Reed for a second. If you want to shout out on the show, spam Raiders down below. And while I'm away, I'm going to let Reed put some people in for a chance to win a signed Ashton Jeanty helmet. What should the score have been if we played better? There's a few different ways you could have looked at it. To me, if we could have cleaned a few things, like if Geno doesn't throw a pick on that first drive, and I do wonder if that strip sack fumble should have been actually a strip sack fumble touchdown. I look at this game and I go, I think that we could have scored 27. So let's go 27-13. And I'm not going to poke holes in it too much because, again, we were able to win an ugly game on the road. Good teams find a way to win. How do I get a jersey? Like a Raiders Report jersey. So last year we used to do $500 Venmo, and I'll get let's say Cash Cow Show on a jersey, but I don't really do those anymore because I have so many jerseys over here, and I really only want to get jerseys for the Bang MVPs, like some of that stuff. Like, I'm going to be wearing a lot of Raider Ron jerseys. I want to get a Fabian Moreno jersey. I have a lot of the OGs, but if you're just saying, how do I get like a Raiders jersey? I would say go to this link, chatsports.com/Raiders jerseys, and you can get any Raiders jersey you want there. Though, don't get an Amari Cooper because he doesn't play for the team anymore. Alex texted me. When I texted Alex and I was like, the Raiders released Amari, she was like, darn, now I have to cut him from my fantasy team. Yes, you do. All right, I'm just going to take a quick pee. I'm also just going to grab a quick little bite to eat, so give me like 5 minutes. I'll be right back here. Hang out with Reed, ask him some questions. As soon as I get back, we will get in to the next segment here on the Raiders Report, which is going to be some of the top trending topics, some of the news storylines that you need to be looking for heading into Week 2, Monday Night Football.
Here we go. I'll mute your stuff. Oh, Stabler for President coming in with a super chat right now. What's up, everybody? So I have a great Geno Smith game against the Patriots. I produced for our Browns report on yesterday, so I was not able to see, but I saw some highlights. Looks like a dang good football player. Let me tell you that. He looks like a great quarterback. I'm gonna give him a B plus. What's up, Triflin? So, I mean, it's what you want from somebody coming from a new team like the Seahawks when he just exploded with his career in Seattle. I mean, this is what you want. This is what you want out of your quarterback is just get the job done. And I saw somebody say it's so nice at the end of a game, you don't have to like worry, like or sweat it out at the end. Like I love that. And yeah, the running back, the run game needs to be better, but you got to go passing game. And that's all you can really ask for. So I give him a B plus. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Yeah, Rebel Browns still lost after 347 yards. It was an interesting game. They had it right here, and they dropped it. But that's classic Browns. The real little ugly dude. Why is everyone hating on the Raiders? I went to go look at videos of Raiders, and they all mad we won. What, like people who are Raiders fans are hating on them? Or like saying it wasn't a good game? Or everyone else? Like everyone else, like other teams fans or something like that? I mean, I think everyone just expects the Raiders to be bad, and when they're not, when they actually play well against the Patriots, I think they may be just mad because they want them to be bad. So, Triflin, all-time favorite Raider. Let me make sure I get. Stable for President's super chat up real quick. Give me 1 second, Triflin. All right, let's see here. All right. After watching the first game, two guys should have resigned Hobbs and Spillane. Yeah. Mitch mentioned this earlier. Spillane, I mean, he just makes plays, man. He definitely has that Raider mentality where it's just go out and give it your all and not care what anyone thinks. And just that mentality is so important when you play football. Somebody like, I don't know, an Amari Cooper, where so yeah, maybe I do want to play, maybe not. I want somebody who really wants to play and just wants to get out there no matter what. And that's who Spillane is. And I can't say too much about Hobbs, but I mean, Spillane is a loss. But hey, still won the game, still beat him. So, Triflin, all-time favorite Raider. So I'm an Eagles fan. I'm from Philly. I think people who have seen me before know I'm an Eagles fan, but Nnamdi Asomugha is a Raider Eagle. He was so good, and then when he got to the Eagles, he just wasn't as good. Let's see. Who else? I love Marshawn Lynch. I just love watching him. I know it wasn't super long, but I love him. Who else we got? I mean, currently, I love Max Crosby. It's an easy cop out, but all time, probably go either him or Charles Woodson. Charles Woodson is just so good. Let's see, what else we got? Jack Tatum, that's a good one. You are muted. Mitch is back.
Oh, I heard the question was favorite Raider
Of all time.
Of all time. So Reed is a Philly guy. He's from the Philadelphia area. His favorite team is the Eagles. I know not everybody can be a Raider here, but I was like Nnamdi Asomugha. And I can remember when I was in college, it was right when Nnamdi ended up going to Philadelphia, and my buddy was so excited about the move that I'm not kidding you when I say this, and if you guys, I don't know if anybody knows, his name is Chad Frankenfield. He was the closer on my baseball team, one of my good buddies. He used to sign his name. Like, I'm not kidding you. He used to sign documents, Nnamdi Asomugha. because it was such a crazy name, and he was like, nobody ever checks it. So I'm not kidding you. He would sign shit all the time. Nnamdi Asomugha.
That's awesome.
Though he wasn't very good with the Eagles compared to the Raiders.
So I was going to say, like, he was so good, but the Eagles forced him to play more zone than –
Was that the Chip Kelly Eagles?
Yes.
Was it? Okay.
So he was forced to play more zone. He is so good on man. Like, you could put him on an island, and that's what the Raiders used him for. And then he went over to the Eagles, and they played almost every time they played, like, defense was zone. Like, so he
I
just
left
was not
my
as
phone in the kitchen. I'll be right back.
Oh, all right. Sorry. No, you're good. Yeah, I mean, Nnamdi, he was so good with the Raiders. It's because, I mean, it's because he's just he's a man. He could only play man, but I don't know. You're back.
All right. Sorry, guys. Forgot my phone. At least I didn't forget it in the bathroom. That could have been bad. Also, we just got our lunch, and we ordered this place. It's called Son of a Butcher.
I know. I'm so excited.
It's so good. I just ate it's called the Comeback
Huh?
Chicken.
Oh.
Comeback chicken sandwich, which I was like, after the Raiders game yesterday, that's one I have to get. And then I did the peanut butter and jelly burger and the
I did the
Popper.
PB&J. I got
PB&J is my favorite one they do.
I gotta try it.
It's so good. It's so peanut butter and jelly burger. Would you try it? Y for yes, N for no. Would you try it? Y for yes, N for no. Peanut butter and jelly burger. It's unbelievable. Again, if you got to like peanut butter and jelly. Like, I could legitimately eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I think, every day.
Really?
I love peanut butter.
I was always just peanut butter and Nutella. You big Nutella guy?
Love Nutella.
Love Nutella. I would do peanut butter and Nutella and fluff.
Oh, dude.
Dude,
Fluff and Nutella,
Fluff.
look the F out.
Everybody know about fluff?
I'm putting a hole in this table.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, you want the best s'mores trick in the world? Don't buy marshmallows. From a kid, for a kid that grew up in the sticks, buy fluff. You take your stick, you put it in the fluff, you light it on fire, and think about, like, the perfect marshmallow for me. You know, you sit there with a normal marshmallow, and you got to, like, toast the outside, and it takes a while for the inside to melt. Fluff, it's already melted. So you put it over the fire, the whole outside instantly caramelizes, then it's the fluff in the middle, bingo, bango, you got a perfect s'more.
Man.
I'm telling you, game changer. Though I use Reese's peanut butter cups with my s'mores.
Ooh.
Reese's peanut butter cups, little s'more action. That sounds unbelievable right now. Also, what sounds unbelievable are our Monday deals. Now, we are going to be live later on today. I'm going to be live later on today for Monday Night Football, and I need to be able to do a few little odds and ends to be able to get that show ready. So today's live show will end, this one that you're currently watching, in about 15 minutes from now. Now, obviously, if we keep more questions coming in and if all that, we will keep this thing rocking and rolling. But I do want to get into one segment. Oh, my goodness.
He said, shut up.
He said, shut yo bitch ass up, because the A-Train! Bang! Oh, my goodness. Chugga, 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 chugga. A-Train! Bro, the bank locked me up because they don't believe another one for the nation. Raiders! Champions, believe it, Mitch. I'll tell you this, A-Train. You're making me a believer. You're making me a believer, A-Train. Today's MVP of the show, also very random, old Raider player, just signed with the Colts, Amir Abdullah. Amir Abdullah to the practice squad.
Can you tell me his college?
Yes.
What is it?
I know this
one.
Well, I know it just because we have so many fans that are Nebraska fans.
Yes.
So, Husker Raider, shout out to you. And then the great Brandon Jasper, Nebraska guy. So, when Amir Abdullah was on this team, the reason why Amir Abdullah holds a very special place in my heart, does anybody know what I'm about to say? When the Raiders got Amir Abdullah, what was the next move that happened? There was a certain move, and I'll see if anybody else here gets it.
Oh, I
before
remember
I
this.
give my answer here?
I remember this.
You weren't here yet. You didn't work yet.
No, but I remember because for some reason, I just remember stuff about Amir Abdullah because I followed him since college because he was electric in college. Unless I'm thinking of something else. I could be thinking of something else.
So it has actually nothing to do with Amir Abdullah. Okay. Yes. So essentially the Raiders, they signed Amir Abdullah. I was live on the show. And then something else happened. Big move. Can anybody remember it? Somebody said kick celebration, flying roundhouse. You give your guess, and I'll say what I was going to say. All right, so I don't know if you guys heard. So when Amir Abdullah came back to the Raiders, yeah, George said Devontae question mark. It's when the Raiders traded for Davante Adams. So I remember I was live on the show, and I had to hop off of live. And I was sitting at my desk, and I was upset that I was forced to end the live show because I was like, I wanted to keep the party rolling. But at that time, we just didn't have any studios. Other people needed the film. So I was like, man, if more breaking news happens, I'm freaking going back live on the show. So the Raiders, they go out, they sign Amir Abdullah. And I'm live on the show, and I'm like, you know, we're back here, Amir Abdullah. And then I just remember looking down at my computer and seeing the Raiders have traded for Davante Adams. And I think I repeated the Raiders just traded for Davante Adams maybe 20 times in a row before I said anything else. If I was a Pokemon, I would have been Raiders traded for Davante Adams. Like, it was just over and over and over and over again. It was so hard to comprehend. What a waste, Stoffel. Yeah, you're not wrong there, brother. You're not wrong there. Fabian, all right, bro, that's on me. I got to send you the address. I got your name up here. Text me as soon as the live show's done, and then that way I remember to send you all the information that you need. So I am looking right now at the duck race. A-Train, you crazy, crazy mother effer today, man. You crazy, crazy mother effer today. He's making the show happen. He's having a lot of fun. I'll tell you this. If there's one reason why I'm going to get to do live shows every single Monday, the bosses are going to look at this show. Y'all should be throwing A-Train down in the comments because he's going to make sure that we go live every single Monday. And again, I'm always an honest human being with you guys. And when I tell my bosses, hey, I want to try out new stuff, we got to be able to get the numbers and the audience and, you know, just everything that proves that it was the right company decision. Because A-Train banging 3 times today, guaranteed I'll be back next Monday. Right? Like, and that's just kind of how this whole thing goes. We've had a great audience day. We've had a lot of people participating on the show, a lot of great questions, a lot of great conversation. But there's always the aspect of who's banging. And A-Train today banged for the nation. So shout out to my guy A-Train. Seriously, dude. When you guys bring that energy, I know I might not seem super amped up right now. I'm kind of like, I don't want to say I'm tired, but you know, yesterday's a long day. I'm trying to save it for tonight, Monday Night Football, because Monday Night Football tonight's going to be electric. We're going to do something that I've never done before, and we've done a lot of stuff here at the show. But if you believe the Raider fans and Raider Nation is better than all other 31 teams combined, pull up tonight to the Raiders Report. That's all I'm going to say. Marsh, 6 points. Chugs, 9 points. Made 69 misery. Is that what the Giants scored, 6 yesterday? I think. I mean, the Texans scored 9. The Giants scored 6. That is a Chat Sports 69 if I've ever seen one from Rebel. There's only one person that would get that right. I mean, only Rebel Montana would get this right, quite frankly. Let's go to the next Super Chat. Rolling up here on the show. Once we get through all the supers, then I will get into that final segment around some of the top storylines to look for as we go into week 2. Let's go to Chappie Boss. I'll be at Monday Night Football versus Dallas, Mitch. November 17th. I guess first off, I'm a little bit confused on what hat you're wearing here. I don't know if this is you. I don't know if this is somebody else. Can we get confirmation? Sorry, I'm seeing a bunch of crazy messages. Zahn said I'm still a little hungover from last night. Zahn, It's all good. When I got Holmes on, those boots that I took for Ron hit me like a ton of bricks. But I also plan on being out there this weekend. So for those that don't know, Jeremy's wife and my wife, both Cowboys fans, we won't be able to go to the game. Jeremy and I won't. I want to try to get Alex and her and Jeremy's wife to the game. Obviously, tickets are expensive. We're trying to figure out the best way to do it. If anybody wants to take our wives to the game, let us know. But we'll be out there, Saturday and Sunday. Actually, I don't know if people want to do that. I don't even know if they'd be comfortable going with two random people.
Anybody want to take our wives out?
Yeah, if you want to take our wives to the game day. There's no way that could possibly go wrong. No wild. There's just no way. So he said, I lost a bet. All right, well, I bet you won't pull up next week with a Raiders hat on. I bet you. Let's go to Caleb Tarr. I wore my Nnamdi jersey when I met you. Really? See, that's wild. Did I bring up anything about a Nnamdi jersey? Because I know Caleb has been an OG watcher here for a very, very long time. So the Nnamdi jersey will always hold a special place in my heart just because, again, I'm from Pennsylvania. All of my buddies back home are all Eagles fans. And when that move ended up happening, they were so amped about it, and it went so terribly wrong that I'll just never forget it. It'll always hold a special place in my heart. What up, John? Mitch, heard we signed a player. Oh, Amir Abdullah ended up signing with the Colts. I mean, to my knowledge, I don't know the Raiders signing anyone. Like, the moves that happened over the weekend were because Amari Cooper decided to quit on the team and retire, we then only had 52 players on the roster. Justin Shorter, then, the Raiders ended up putting him on the active 53-man. Then you're allowed in the NFL to basically activate 2 players from your practice squad on game day. Though I forget how many times you're allowed to do that. I think it's 3 times you're allowed to activate a player. It's some rule like that. Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 times. And those 2 players were Alex Bachman and Terrell Edmonds. But in terms of the Raiders adding or signing a player today, I don't think that they have. Okay. Reed's going to go take a quick pee. Soon as he gets back, we are going to get in to our next segment. If you want to put the photo over there. If you want to get in our 50-50 raffle, excuse me, it is a $10 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. So, I'm looking right now at the people that are in the duck race. The last name that I saw was Wolverine. The next name that I see is, I believe it's Quan Su. Hopefully that's right. The Night Devil, he's going to get plenty of ducks. Night Devil, Night Devil, Night Devil. And then Philip Bogert, you're in. So right now it's a $10 Venmo. You have an opportunity to win $140 here on the Raiders Report. And we'll do that at the very, very end of the show. So essentially the way that today's rest of live show is going to go is I'll sit up here, I'll answer your questions. If anybody wants to get some of those questions in while I wait for Reed to get back, put them down below, hashtag Raiders that I can see. Then we'll get into that segment. Then we will do the duck race, and then we will get on out of here. So I'll say typically Mondays, I'll probably be live on the early Monday show, probably about 3 hours. So in my mind, I started at 1 p.m. Eastern. I'll probably go until about 4 p.m. Eastern. And then that gives me about 2 hours to get everything ready for Monday Night Football and then get ready to give you guys the best Monday Night Live show that I can. So I want to be able to do these Mondays and talk and, interact with you to kind of express our feelings about the night before in terms of the game. Typically also when the Raiders don't play at noon, like yesterday I felt like we had more time to kind of talk about some of this stuff already. But sometimes with the 3 o'clock game, it goes right into Sunday Night Football. We watch Sunday Night Football. Monday the next morning is where I want you guys to pull up and be like, let's talk about that Raiders game a little bit more. So, A-Train, my fault. I'm still turnt from last night. Bro, you never got to say I'm sorry. Oh, man. I think it's one of those things, like, if you're having a good time, have your good time, right? Like, I think as an adult, if you're an adult and you get the important things that you need to get done, and you're still able to, show love to the people that you show love to, if you want to get a little bit wild on a Monday, who am I to say that you can't do it? I've gotten I've gotten crazy on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Mondays before. Believe me, it's all good. A-Train, it's all love, man. It's all love. Though, if you do want to shout out here on the Raiders Report, I want to see who's rocking with us right now. If you haven't, oh, wow, listen to this stat. Ashton Jeanty played 86% of the snaps in Week 1 and found the end zone. He just didn't get very much help from his offensive line. 38 total yards, 44 rushing yards after contact. Think about that. This is a insane stat. Hang on. Insane stat. Ashton Jeanty had 38 rushing yards yesterday. You want to hear a crazy stat? Ashton Jeanty, 38 rushing yards yesterday. How many yards after contact do you think he had?
27.
44.
The hell? Oh, he lost yards.
That's how bad his offensive line was.
Holy cow.
That's how bad the offensive line was. He had more yards after contact than rushing yards. I don't know if I've ever seen that. I actually don't know if I've ever seen that. That is an insane stat.
You know who he reminds me of?
Jeanty?
Yeah.
Who?
LaDainian Tomlinson.
He reminds me of see, LaDainian was a better pass catcher, and I think LaDainian was a little bit more agile, where Jeanty is definitely a little bit more of a bowling ball. I was going to say, Maurice Jones-Drew, I definitely get some flashes of Maurice Jones-Drew. Maybe this is just the Boise State running back. Do you remember Doug Martin, the muscle hamster? Very low, compact runner. I kind of think of like Doug Martin and Maurice Jones-Drew combined into one, but he has a lot more speed. Like LaDainian is one of the greatest of all time to do it. I don't mind the LaDainian comp, though. I really, really don't. Marion Barber, see, he's a lot more of an athlete than Marion Barber was, though. Barber was just a physical runner.
Maybe a little Matt Forte.
Forte was a better pass catcher.
Oh, I'm talking strictly running, though.
See, I think Forte was more of an upright runner.
Or Alfred Morris. You remember him?
Oh, yeah, I remember Alfred. He, 2012 rookie? That's a whole story in my family fantasy football league, the year of Alfred Morris.
Really?
So it's like a whole story, yeah. My uncle, his name is Moose, and my family, we've been doing a fantasy football league now. This is year 20, crazy enough. My uncle walked by my cousin's draft page and randomly saw a guy circled and goes, "Oh, I'll just take Alfred Morris," thinking that it was a joke. Like, oh, this guy not going to be anybody. It was at the end of the draft. And my cousin freaked out. He's like, "That's the guy I wanted. How do you, like..." This is also, like, very much before, I think, a lot of, like, social media, the internet. Like, at that time, we were printing off our draft sheets. You know, we're printing off draft sheets. We have stuff circled, highlighted even. And my uncle walks around. He's like, "I'll take Alfred Morris." And that year he ended up going for whatever the frick he ended up going for. But wild, man. Wild, wild, wild. All right, y'all. I'm going to refresh my phone for the duck race. I know I said I'd get some extra people in here. The last name that I saw was Philip Bogert. So Brian Baca, no way. Jerry Danley? Jerry Danley is in the duck race. Oh, my goodness. Jared, in. Willie Fist, probably, in. Miggy Kamach, in. So right now as it stands, it is a $10 Venmo for a chance to win $170 here on the Raiders Report. Should we sign Tyler Boyd or let things alone? I'm going to let things alone. I actually like our receiver room. I don't really think our receiver room is the issue. If we did go out and sign another wide receiver that's a veteran, I actually think the name to keep in mind would be Robert Woods, and that's because of his ties with Greg Olsen on this team. And again, veteran, slot type of receiver. Maybe that would be your Amari Cooper replacement. But if we're looking to find a legit starter to help replace, that position left behind by Amari, I mean, at this point, I think you got to look at offensive line. I think also Jadeveon Clowney's got to be a name. Stephon Gilmore is still going to be a name I'll throw out there. What's up, Jeremy Cole? I know it's too early, but what are the chances Dante Thornton Jr. turns into a true number 1? You need a Bacon jersey. I do need a Bacon jersey. I would say to turn into a true number wide receiver 1, the chances aren't high, but that's because the chances aren't high for any NFL player to turn into a true wide receiver 1. I believe in Dante Thornton, the talent. I don't think he's ever going to be somebody that you're like, that's your no doubt wide receiver 1. To me, I think he's going to be as best as a complementary 2-piece. Like, if you can add somebody who's really good, like a Jacobe Meyers next to a Dante Thornton Jr., I think at some point in their career, they're going to be viewed very similar, where I don't think Dante's like a DK Metcalf number 1. I think he's a Martavis Bryant that can take the field off the top. That's a really good number 2. But I don't know if you're ever going to want him to be a true number 1. Maybe he proves me wrong. Quite frankly, I hope that he does. He's got the athletic for it. The athletic ability, no doubt about it. All right, y'all. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get into the final segment on today's program. If you don't know, here are the deals. So far, the only man to bang is the A-Train. And I don't know, banging by yourself, it's not quite the same. Yeah, we can do it after. Let's do it after. All right, y'all. Okay, sounds good. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into the next segment here. It's going to be some of the Raiders news that I want y'all to pay attention to as we get ready to move forward into NFL Week 2 action. After that segment, we will do a duck race, and then we will get on out of here from today's show. Again, I'll still answer all the Super Chats if we get them in. If we get any more questions, we will answer those. But we'll be live here for another 30-ish minutes. But don't worry, I will be live later on tonight. Monday Night Football. Vikings, Bears. It's going to be electric. You ready to go? Reed's ready to go. Y'all ready to go? Hope the answer to that is yes. Coming up here, the must-see Raiders news and storylines going into Week 2. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on the Raiders Report today, I'm going to give you guys the must-see Raiders news and the top storylines heading into NFL Week 2 action against the Chargers on Monday Night Football. Now, if you don't already know this, the Chargers, they took care of business against the Kansas City Chiefs. And if you didn't already know, the Raiders, they took care of business against the New England Patriots. And if you didn't know, Monday Night Football, it's actually the second Monday night game. We will be live here on the Raiders Report, so make sure you're subscribed. Make sure the notifications are turned on. If you hate the Los Angeles Chargers, if you are annoyed that they go by Los Angeles because Los Angeles, LA is still owned by the Silver and Black, I need you to pull up. I need you to be ready to go. Hit that subscribe button. We had over 200,000 people join us last week. I want to get over 200,000. I want to get over 300,000 yet again. If you can't actually make it out to the game, there is one place to pull up and one place only to watch the Raiders, and that's on the Raiders Report. So let's go through here and let's look at some of the top storylines as we get in to NFL Week 2. And the first one to me is, this is the battle for the AFC West. And to me, it's going to run through Monday Night Football. I know that the Broncos are 1-0. I know the Raiders and the Chargers are all 1-0. But to me, I think we're really going to learn a lot about who are the top teams in this division after this week, because I do think the Broncos have the best defense out of all of these teams. But I think easily, by far, the worst offense is also the Denver Broncos. For the Raiders and Chargers, both these teams have a shot to go 2-0. And for the Kansas City Chiefs, you know, they might go 0-2. They play the Philadelphia Eagles in this upcoming matchup. So I look at this game and I'm like, man, this is a big time opportunity for the Las Vegas Raiders, because the Denver Broncos, they have an easier game as well. They're playing Indy on the road, but Indy also just embarrassed the Miami Dolphins in a game that it was never close, and I mean never close from the jump. So what I want to know is this. Do you guys want me to go live for Eagles Chiefs next week? And if this video gets 1,000 likes, I'm going to go live for Eagles Chiefs, because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the Kansas City Chiefs, led by Patrick Mahomes, have never lost 3 games in a row. I was live for the Super Bowl game last year against the Eagles. They lost this past week against the Chargers. And if they lose again, that's 3 in a row. Also, they would fall to 0-2 for the first time ever with Patrick Mahomes. If this video gets 1,000 likes, I'm going to pull up live here on the Raiders Report for Eagles-Chiefs this upcoming Sunday, and I'm telling you this, nothing would make me happier than going live and watching Kansas City lose to the city of brotherly love. Let's go to the storyline number 2. Is Brock Bowers 100% healthy? And is he going to be ready to go against the Chargers in a late game? Now, Pete Carroll spoke to the media on Monday, and he did not provide an update on number 89. But the reason why I hit that subscribe button, when I was live yesterday, I got a text message, and I said on air yesterday, that the Raiders, from what I understand, are playing it cautious with Brock. Brock wanted the return of the game on Sunday. The two biggest reasons why they did not do it: one, the weather conditions, the field, they were a little bit unsure with, the knee injury. Number two, the Raiders felt good about Michael Mayer, and they felt good about how that game was going, so they didn't want to risk the extra injury. From what I understand right now, the Raiders' plan is to have Brock Bowers out there. Bowers thought he was going to be able to play and go back into the game. The Raiders ended up holding him out. Also, though, this ended up happening. It was also a little bit after the game as well. Tom Pelissero ended up tweeting that, just talked to Raiders tight end Brock Bowers, and he says he's fine. Took a little hit on the knee, came out, get checked out. No concerns moving forward. Another beat reporter, Ian Rappaport, said this: tight end Brock Bowers wanted to go back in the game after a knee injury. So Rappaport and Pelissero kind of saying everything that I heard. And the way that I'll usually do this is, I'm not saying that my sources are better than those two guys. Those two guys run laps around me in terms of sources. But the way that I want Raider fans to look at that is and go, if Mitch got a text message, and on top of that, two big-time NFL insiders reported the same thing, that tends to mean that it's probably true. I know that everybody was freaking out about Brock Bowers. It's Brock frickin' Bowers, right? The top receiver on our team, the top target getter on our team, arguably the best player on our team from top to bottom. And not having him does really hurt this offense. So I want everyone to take a little bit of a deep breath. I want everyone to obviously pay attention to the injury reports that end up coming out. But based on the two reports and based on what I was told, I feel pretty confident that you're going to see number 89 on Monday Night Football, home opener against the Chargers. But I want to know this because, yes, this is the Raiders Report, but I always say that this is a show that is driven and predicated on the participation of Raider Nation. So these are my storylines, and my storylines are going to be different than yours. We're different people. We have different opinions. I want to know from you, what is the number one storyline heading into week 2 against the Chargers that you're paying attention to? Let me know after this YouTube ad break. Let's get into storyline number 3 now here on the show, and I'm looking at the offensive line. And my biggest question is, are we going to do anything with the O-line? And I sit up here and I go, I want to be able to believe in the O-line. And just like the Raiders made those second half adjustments, you got to hope that we make the proper adjustments this week at practice. Because Dylan Parham, Jordan Meredith, JPJ, and DJ Glaze all got to be better. Colt Miller is really the only player that I'll give a true passing grade to in terms of their week 1 performance. Charles Grant, Caleb Rogers, healthy scratches. Alex Kappa, will we see him? I don't know. Are we going to get an opportunity maybe to see a Will Putnam Forsythe in the future? I don't really want to see it, but to me, this offensive line just has to be a little bit more physical, and we just have to be better from top to bottom. Jeanty yesterday, 19 carries, 38 yards. He did have a touchdown, but he averaged 2.0 yards per carry. The craziest stat that I just heard, and I mean this, it is the craziest stat I think I've ever heard in terms of running, and this just illustrates how bad the offensive line was yesterday. Ashton Jeanty, 19 carries, 38 yards. You want to know how many rushing yards Jeanty had after contact? 44. I don't know if I've ever heard of a rushing stat where the running back had more yards after contact than actual rushing yards. He had no room to run. His first 3 runs went for 22 yards. His final 16 went for 16 yards. If we're one-dimensional, teams will start to scheme for it, and they'll start to plan for it forward. So I want to know, are we going to fix the offensive line? Because right now, that's the biggest concern that I have going into a Week 2 game against the AFC West divisional rival, going up against a Jim Harbaugh team, because it's not going to be easy for us to win games over and over and over again even if Geno plays as well as what he did, because look at this stat. The Raiders averaged 10.5 passing yards per attempt against the Patriots, and yet rushed for only 2.5 yards per carry. What's crazy about that is Geno actually helped the rushing yards. Geno averaged 5.0 yards per carry. Between Zamir White and Ashton Jeanty, they averaged a 2.1 yards per carry. It's the first time the Raiders have won a game where they've averaged 2.5 yards per carry or less since 1993. I was born in 1993. I don't know how old y'all are, but the thought that that's that stat, that's how bad the offensive line was. It's also how great Geno Smith played. We just can't depend on that week in and week out. Now, I'll be very honest. I can't believe these are the Raiders' Week 1 PFF grades, because when I turn on the tape and I watched it, you should be counting your lucky blessings, Dylan Parham, Jordan Meredith, Jackson Powers-Johnson, and DJ Glaze, that you scored these grades. Because I can't quite believe that these are the grades that the Raiders received, because to me, I don't know what PFF's looking at. Maybe this is just more that the Raiders did good in terms of pass blocking, but from a run blocking standpoint, I have a hard time believing that anybody was worse than this Raiders offensive line from a run blocking standpoint. Coming up next here on the show, I got two more storylines to follow for week 2, and one's going to be injury related. The last one might be the number one biggest talked about story around the National Football League. It's definitely going to be the biggest storyline that people talk about on the national media. That I can guarantee you. Before I get into that, though, the number one fantasy app. You can win big, up to 2,000 times your money if you join now, and it's available in 45 states. That's right. It is Prize Picks. And this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I, we make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is the simple, best way to play. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. If you're trying to sign up today and roll with me all season long, download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. And even when you're not 100% right, Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. So this was my week 1 lineup on Prize Picks. I was able to turn $20 into $40. Unfortunately, Max Crosby couldn't get me an extra 2 tackles. It's all good, Max. Not going to hold it against you. I'm happy we got a win. But that's why I love Prize Picks, because even though I didn't go 6 for 6, I still went 5 for 6, and I was able to turn $20 into 40. If you're looking to play with us all year long on Prize Picks, that link is going to be available to y'all down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. Let's go to the fourth storyline here on the Raiders Report, and it's going to be around the status of Landon Roberts. And I'm going to be wondering it. Y'all are going to be wondering it, because to me, I know what type of game it's going to be against the Chargers. It's going to be the same game, essentially, that we went up against New England. I think it's going to be a buckle the chin strap game. And I say that like, even though I know Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense, they came out slinging the pill. And they did. They threw the ball a ton against Kansas City. But I do think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to Jim Harbaugh getting to his roots, and Jim Harbaugh is going to try to be physical. And we got to be able to match that physicality. Landon Roberts helps us do that. He is dealing with an elbow injury, and he had to leave that week 1 game with a sprained elbow. I will admit, I was hoping to get more information on it today. Pete Carroll didn't provide anything on Monday, and his return, it is TBD, and I think it depends on the severity. Now, I did mention this earlier on the live show. He's a tough player. He is questionable for week 2. One of my buddies in the medical field, I asked them, like, what do you think about a sprained elbow? And they literally told me, like, it can depend. Like, it can depend on being a 1 to 2 week thing. It can be a 2 to 4 week thing. It can be a much longer injury than that. Because we don't know the information yet, it's really hard to pinpoint exactly what it is. But I would anticipate that Landon Roberts is not going to be 100% healthy. Maybe he has to play with a brace. The good news, though, our linebackers stepped up and really did a good job against the Patriots when Roberts went down. And I even hate to say this because I just have the utmost respect for Landon. I think he's one of the captains of this defense. I know he's not actually a captain, but he is one of the leaders. He's a green dot linebacker, and he's a really true leader. I think he was one of the plans that they wanted to bring in for just the overall, replacement of a Robert Spillane. But let's talk about the linebackers, though, that replaced him. Jamal Adams, he was phenomenal, the highest graded PFF player for the Raiders. But the one guy that stepped in when Roberts went down was Tommy Eichenberg. And, I didn't know exactly what we were going to get out of Eichenberg. I thought he did more than okay. But to me, if you're the Raiders and you're a little bit unsure about the health of Roberts, you sit back and you go, Tommy Eichenberg was good in limited reps. Jamal Adams, I thought, was amazing yesterday, flying all around the football field. Devin White, one of the biggest winners from yesterday's game, a tackling machine with 11 tackles yesterday, and he was a very surefire tackler. Jermaine Pratt, another great performance from him. So, to me, I sit back and I go, all right, if Roberts isn't 100% healthy, you got to feel good and you got to be confident about what you saw from your linebacker group based on week one. Could be a different monster that you're playing in terms of the Chargers instead of, the New England Patriots. But at the same time, I have learned that you got to trust this team and you got to trust this coaching staff. And I saw a bunch of veterans that people said were not good anymore prove that they are not only good, can help teams win in 2025. Let's go to the final storyline, though, here on today's show, and it's, can Geno Smith outshine Justin Herbert on Monday Night Football? I asked Google and AI earlier today, what's Geno Smith's record on Monday Night Football? They told me that he's never played in a Monday Night Football game, which I found that hard to believe. So if anybody could double check on that, that would be great. Excuse me. For me, I know Justin Herbert just beat Patrick Mahomes. I know. And he looked phenomenal doing it. And the number one storyline that the national media is going to be talking about is going to be the Chargers just beat the Kansas City Patrick Mahomes-led Chiefs. Geno Smith's 1-0. Chargers are 1-0. If Geno goes in and they win that game and they're 2-0, that's the biggest storyline, one of the biggest storylines in the NFL. If the Chargers beat the Raiders on the road and they're 2-0, that's going to be one of the biggest storylines in the NFL. But to me, I sit back and I go, I know Justin Herbert. And I know the real Justin Herbert. And to me, when the lights are bright, I know that he played well against Kansas City. I get it. I get it. But to me, Justin Herbert is a choke artist. And to me, Geno Smith is somebody that when the lights were the brightest, he ended up getting it done. And I hope that we see the best version from Geno yet again, because we're going to need the better version of Geno Smith. I need the Geno with the one less turnover and turn that baby into a touchdown if we're going to beat Jim Harbaugh and if we're going to take care of business, because it's not only just the Geno show. It's also going to be a part of the Pete Carroll show. Pete Carroll is 6-5 all time against Jim Harbaugh. But for Herbert, he was spectacular. 25 of 34, same amount of throws, one extra completion, 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Herbert has all the talent in the world. It's just he's never been able to put it together, and he really looked like he was able to put it together. I hope the Raiders' defense is up for the challenge. I hope Geno Smith is up for the challenge. I think that this is going to be a very high-scoring game. I am going to be hammering them more on literally everything, but to me, I also remember this stat. And Geno Smith threw for 362 yards, a touchdown. He completed over 70% of the balls, had 9+ throws of over 20 yards, leads the NFL right now. How many people remember this, though, and how elite he is indoors? The outdoor stats that you see were his 36 starts with the Seattle Seahawks before yesterday's game. His indoor starts are 14, also all on the road. This could be the very first time Geno in the last 3 years has played a home game inside of a dome, and those numbers indicate that Geno Smith, and you can go back, you can look his entire career, Geno on turf and in a dome is so much better than Geno outdoors in the rain. So I'm like, if that Geno Smith, Chip Kelly offense is what we saw against a good Patriots defense in the rain, can you imagine what it might look like in a dome in perfect weather condition? Buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to be a high-scoring game, and I can't wait. So who do you think is the better quarterback? And you can answer this however you want. The way that I'm going to answer this is, to me, the only way that it matters. Who's going to be the better quarterback week 2 Monday Night Football? When the lights are on. That game's a late game, 10 p.m. Eastern time. We will be live on this channel. Who's going to be better? Geno Smith, type GS, JH for Justin Herbert. The reason why I'm going to go with our guy, GS and Geno Smith, it's in a dome. And if that's what that offense looked like outdoors, I have high expectations that that's going to be a team that's going to be throwing the pill all over the football field. Give me Geno Smith because I think he's cool, calm, and collected. Where Justin Herbert in Las Vegas against a bunch of rowdy Raiders fans, I think you might see the real Justin Herbert stand up. Now, if y'all don't know, I am going to be live a lot this week. I'm actually live right now when I'm recording this, and I'm going to be live for Monday Night Football every game this year. So Monday, going to be a long day. If you're watching this on Tuesday morning, you're like, oh man, I didn't know you were live on Monday. I'm going to be live every Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Every Monday Night Football game, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Today, depending on when you watch this, we're going to be punishing a Raiders or a Patriots fan on this channel. So make sure you pull up to our 4 p.m. Eastern time show. And then Thursday Night Football, the Wet and Wild Raiders Friday happy hour style show. It's going to be absolutely positively insane. And I can't wait to get insane with each and every one of y'all. There's no way this is new, is it? Oh my goodness. A-Train! Bang! How about the nation gets wasted today? If you're off work, Raiders. So when we first started doing this show, I used to always say, if you're participating at home, if somebody bangs and you want to chug a beer for A-Train, in my mind, if 1% of people did it, we got 657 people watching. That's 6.5 viewers. Let's round up. If 7 people popped open a beer right now and chugged one, I'll tell you this, you'd put a smile on A-Train's face. A-Train, wet and wild today. We don't give an F. Love y'all. Get effed up with me. I called out today, not giving a crap, Mitch. You know, I want you to have a good time, man. Like, I think at the end of the day, I want people when they tune into the Raiders Report, I want people to truly, and I mean this, like, I want people to have a good time. Like, I know, like, what YouTube is, and I don't want to be somebody that's a boring beat reporter, right? I don't want to be somebody that does something boring. Like, to me, if you want to have some beers while you watch the show, have some beers while you're doing the show, right? There's going to be days I'm going to have some beers. And I love being able to do this show. I love being able to interact with y'all all the time, but it's the amount of love that you guys show me all the flipping time. Ventrax says, Geno is 3-6 on Monday Night Football. See, the problem with that stat, though, is I think I read he was like 3-6 on Monday. I don't know if it was like 3-6 on Monday Night Football, but when I first looked at it on AI, I was like, there's just no way that that's possible, that he's never played in the Monday night game. But it could be 3-6 on Monday night. Could be. A-Train, I don't know what to tell you, man. You are absolutely killing it today, bro. What? Clearly the MVP. So much so that you're the MVP. I'm going to give you a special shout out on tomorrow's show. We'll give you a special shout out on tomorrow's show, A-Train. I can't believe it, dude. I mean, today, again, oh wow, the Chugs horn from Reed. I love it. Again, when you guys do this type of shit, it tells me that we are doing the right things in terms of, like, I didn't know if me's going live on a day after a Raiders game, after all the content that we already provide, would be something that you guys would want. Today, A-Train has proven that it's the content that he wants. I'll tell you that right now. Let's go to the Night Devil. What's up, brother? The amount of times I rewatch stream because I'm working, my winner would be Trey Tucker. I think Trey Tucker is a great pick. I think Tucker showed, that first touchdown catch. He's getting on the field more, and I just wanted to see the growth of Trey. And what do I mean by that? I think Trey Tucker and Tyree Wilson are in a very similar boat where, 2 straight off seasons we've heard, oh, this guy's dynamic, he's athletic, he's getting better, he's ready to take the next step. Until you actually see it, though, you're like, all right, I'll believe it when I see it. Tyree Wilson yesterday had himself a hell of a game with a sack. Trey Tucker yesterday had himself a hell of a game with a touchdown. And I don't need Trey Tucker and Tyree Wilson to be the main components. But when they're help stirring that drink, that's a drink that I like to sip on, I'll tell you that. Night Devil, shout out to you. Venthrak, Geno, 3-6 on Monday night. I'll try to double check that one, but appreciate you doing a little bit of homework on that one, Venthrak. It's one of the reasons why you are on Mount Raidermore. All right, y'all.
I don't want you to forget. We're at 770 likes. You said at 500 raffle entries
for all the mods. So if
we're
you're
doing that soon.
If you're a moderator, wait, what?
We're doing the duck race soon, aren't we?
Yeah. The raffle tickets for Jeanty.
Oh, the Jeanty one. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Still can't forget.
No, you're good. Rebel said he wants the beer. What beer? A-Train says, I build jet boats. You build jet boats? What does that mean? Like you just build boats? You want to build me one? I mean, if somebody built me a Raider boat, I don't live anywhere near, I shouldn't say anywhere near. I'm like 30 minutes away from water. The other day, Alex and I, we were at a Bass Pro Shop for her dad's birthday. And you ever just like go in a place and you shop for something knowing that you're just not even close to being able to afford it? So we were looking at boats yesterday. I was blown away. I was literally blown away on how expensive boats were. And it's funny, like Alex and I were like, oh, I don't think I'd want to get that one because there's not enough room. And like if we got a boat, like we'd want it for Chuck, this and that. We like look at the price tag. It's like $45,000. I'm like, I don't think I'm getting a boat. Only hose. Oscar, let's give it to Jacobe Meyers for showing up yesterday. We must extend his contract ASAP. You know, I thought Jacobe did good. He had 2 drops yesterday, which was 2 more than he had all of last season. He also had a drop in the preseason, which I remember, but it could also be, I also thought about this the other day where, you know, he's catching footballs last season from Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. That's like if a pitcher's throwing 85 miles an hour. Now he's got Geno Smith, and he's throwing 95, right? Like, I do wonder if that makes a little bit of a difference in terms of how easy it is to catch the football. It was also wet, slick yesterday, rainy. He's also old school receiver, no gloves. I mean, he just does so many good things. Like, actually, one of my favorite plays that I saw yesterday from Jacobe where he's got it up here, he's lined up outside at receiver, and I forget what guy was on him in the front, but he's lining up, and he notices something with the corner. And sometimes, you know, it could be a little foot thing. It could be whatever. And he essentially is looking, and he looks at Geno, and he points at Geno, and he points at this guy. And he's literally like, hey, look. Geno looks, hike, cornerback blitz. Geno on 3rd down finds Jacobe Meyers open for a first down. It was only a pickup of like 4 or 5, but it's not, like, to me, just Jacobe just does so many little things that don't show up all the time on a stat sheet, and he wants to be a Raider. He loves the block. To me, I agree. I would give Jacobe an extension. I think the way that it works the best for both sides, and because there is a part of me that wonders if they don't want to bring Jacobe back, and that's just the truth. But I do think if you gave Jacobe Meyers a raise, made him happy, that would be one thing. The other thing, though, that we're looking at right now is if you're the Raiders and you really don't know if you want to bring back Jacobe Meyers, if Jacobe tests the open market next season, because of the new rules with comp picks, like my question to you would be, would you rather have Jacobe Meyers or a 3rd-round pick? Would you rather have Jacobe Meyers or a 4th-round pick? Because if he tests free agency next year and he gets paid the amount of money that I think he's going to get paid, you're probably going to be somewhere around that 3rd, 4th-round comp pick. Yeah, that's good. Also, we only have these receivers. Now, Bachman got promoted. Justin Shorter, I guess, is technically on the 53-man as well. Those were the 6 receivers that were on the team. But the 4 main ones that we have after the Amari Cooper retirement are these 4 guys right here. Like, these were the 4 that the Raiders decided to keep on the 53-man. Now, technically, yes, Justin Shorter should be added to this list, and I'll do it after the show. And then Bachman was promoted. But I am all on board for Jacobe. I think an extension makes sense. I think giving him a raise this season, letting him test out the open market next year also makes sense. But to me, you only do that if you're really, truly not trying to bring him back. Because if he hits the open market, he's going to make a lot more money than you just give him a contract extension right now. All right, I'm going to refresh my phone. Final call to get in the duck race. Final call to get in the duck race. The last name that I saw was Miggy Camacho. And since then, I got a few more people that are trying to get it in. Richard Black, I got you. Justine Gonzalez, got you. Christian Perez, Andrea Perez. I'm guessing you're related or married. Andrew, you in? Andrew D is what I'll label as. The Soup Daddy, you know who you are. You're in. I got, actually, Soup Daddy, you're going to get 6 because you sent in a 60, so I don't know if you knew that or not. Kevin, we got Cruz, you in. Mario Guevara, in. Fabian Moreno's got multiple, of course. Hang on. All right, so as it stands right now, $10 Venmo, you would go home with 200. Oh, wait. Math's not good. And $255. $10 to win, $255 here on the Raiders Report. I'm going to send you this link here. What's your name? Gotcha. Final call to get in the duck race. Now, if you're like, Mitch, I heard on social media you were going to be live for 8 hours today. I am going to be live for basically 8 hours today. 3 hours now, and then Monday Night Football coverage, which that might be 4 or 5 hours. I am going to be going live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, so that's in about, 3 hours from now. And 3 hours from now, I will be live for Monday Night Football. Craziness. Mondays, we're going to be putting in that time. We're going to be putting in that effort, man. Hey, before all y'all leave today, can y'all show some love to A-Train down below for being the MVP today? Dude was an absolute legend. What'd you say? No, we did actually just get a few more. Hey, I got... So everything you have highlighted is correct. So now I'm just going to add a few more. Michael Houston, Gabriel Ruiz, Michael Houston again. Oh, shit.
I also have a fun surprise for you.
Uh-oh. Sorry, hang on a second. My phone or my computer just said, I'm going to die.
Uh-oh.
Rustin Long, I got you in. What's up, Mr. Long? Buck Kirk, in. Daniel Ortiz, in. And then Jose Delgado, you in. Final refresh. Oh, boy. All right. Soldier Man, Jerry Kester, Marcus Ann, and I believe this is Israel. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Israel, you're in. Israel Florence. Also Soldier Man, another one. So, boy, $315 to the winner. 10 to win, $315. This is going to be electric. Anything else from here on out, I'm just going to put you in the duck race later on tonight for Monday Night Football. No other ducks. No other ducks are getting it in. I don't know what race Reed is about to pick. I have no idea which one he's going to pick. I see Brian Baca, Gabriel Ruiz, Mickey Camacho, all showing love. All showing love. Ron Raspberry. Mitch, did you ever see the pick? What'd you say? You can, yeah. Brian Baca. Ron, I'll check my phone. I'm not trying to be this guy. I do get tagged in a lot of stuff. So I try to do my best to share what I can. But yesterday, as soon as I got home, I'm not going to lie to y'all, just because Chuck was literally home all day by himself. Luckily, I have a friend or two. Like, they'll go check on him. But, yeah. All right, here's all the names in the race. If your name is not spelled correct, I apologize. I abbreviate a lot of names. If you're like, dude, I didn't see my name, holla at your boy. Holla at your boy. Like, usually I can figure out, based on, like, if I type, if I saw a name or not. Is Chris M on there?
Chris M right
Chris
there.
M is clearly on there, Mitch. All right, yeah, we're good. That was literally the only name that I was like, actually, Bradley Love.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we're good, baby.
Yep. So we talked about this. You talked about this earlier.
I'm listening.
We got some dinos.
We got a dino. All right. I need you to add a few more people.
Okay.
Fine. And this is it. No more people are getting in. Miggy Camacho, gets another one.
find
Fabian Moreno.
right here.
Yeah, anywhere you want to go.
Well, I'm just
I see what you're saying.
so that they can see.
Yep, and then can you add Fabian Moreno 2 more times? I need a Brooks Nelson. And then I need a Vincent Mudd. And give one to Rebel Montana for being a mod. Number 69, Reb. Shout out to you. All right, here we go. What's this from Big Manny? This is what I like to call a duck race. Or in this case, a dino race. Whoever wins this race, you're going to go home with $345.
Oh, my goodness.
No more. I'm serious when I say it. You're not getting in. No more. 3, 2. Wait, can you give me a quick shove? Is that possible?
Yep.
Nice.
How about one more?
All right, we'll go one more. Nice. You ready?
Yep.
You ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Winner goes home.
Whoa, look at him.
For $345. Oh,
so
man.
Which one? You were talking about the dino.
An Allosaurus.
An Allosaurus.
So an Allosaurus is a thinner, little bit smaller version of a T-Rex. I would say out of all these dinosaurs here, I would say an Allosaurus is probably, see Buck Kirk?
Uh-huh.
That's an Allosaurus right there.
Ah, okay.
Yep, there's a Stegosaurus, which is actually
Richard Black.
Richard
30
Black.
seconds.
Richard Black's a Stegosaurus. There's a Triceratops somewhere.
Who's up at the top? Victor.
Victor Lobos. He's got long arms. That kind of looks like a raptor. Not going to lie. 18 seconds to go. Jaime is a long neck. What's their name?
10 seconds to go.
Bronchiosaurus is how I would probably call it. Fabian Moreno, definitely a T-Rex.
It's going to be a close race.
Dude, if Soldier Man wins this again. Oh
Fabian! Oh, they all fell over.
Dude, it's unbelievable. Fabian with another dub. Guys, I'm not kidding you when I say this. Fabian and Soldier Man have more in than anybody else. More in than anybody else. I'm telling you this right now. I don't know how much money Fabian has won off this show. I have no idea. It is insane, dude. Bro, I'm actually starting to wonder if it is rigged. Congrats. Fabian won a duck race yesterday. Now, again, if you think about a 50-50 raffle, the man that's got the most in there, but Soldier Man and Fabian Moreno have won a few big races all in a row. That's craziness, man. All right, Fabian, if you could please confirm with me down below that you just received the money, that would be much appreciated. I almost don't even root for you anymore. I'm going to be honest with you. Jaime, super close. Who came in last place? Who gets the butthole pick? Daniel Ortiz. A 69th butthole pick. Also the Night Devil. 68th. Also the Night Devil. 62nd Rebel. Not bad. Not bad. Rebel, not bad. All right, y'all. Appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in. And again, special thanks to my guy A-Train for bringing that energy, because that's the type of energy that I want on these Monday shows. That's the type of energy that I want to just see all the time. And, you know, when you guys bring that energy, it makes me want to do this type of content even more. Super excited for Monday Night Football tonight. Reminder, I'm going to be going live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, so about 3 hours from now. Come party with Jeremy Chugs and I. We're going to do something that I've never done before. And so the real ones that are watching right now, we're going to play a game called Chat Sports Ball. It is going to be the Raiders Report, Raider Nation, against Chat Sports. So the Chat Sports YouTube channel against the Raiders Report YouTube channel. And it's going to be a lot of fun. That's all I'm going to say. From Reed, shout out to Reed. He's going to be here every single Monday. Shout out to A-Train. And shout out to all of y'all. Raiders got a dub, victory Monday. Now, I'll see you guys Monday Night Football here in 3 hours.